camera fades up just as Karen's hand hits the handle to a little sliver of a Netrunner's sort of internet style cafe with the letters BGTF labeled on the glass above the door. What do you do?
Karen strides confidently in.
Patty, I believe you were in follow behind. Do you?
I just look behind me one time just to see if anybody's following us, and then if I don't see anything, I'll just head in.
Give me a roll then.
Flat -2. No, I am.
No one seems to be following you.
Yeah, I bump into Karen a little bit. Like, hey, don't slow down through the door.
As you go in, you enter. There's a little vestibule that you've entered, and there's another door ahead of you, Karen.
What does this door? Is it a regular door?
Yeah, it's just a regular door.
Okay. How are you in?
Yeah,
I imagine this door might not open till that one is closed.
Alright.
And you hear click, click. You're locked in. A voice over a speaker says, "No guns allowed." And you hear a shunk, and a little slot to the side opens up, and a tray comes out for you to place your weapons on.
He said no guns. I pull out my gun, not my taser, and I put it in there.
Karen pulls out her gun and places it in the tray, reluctantly.
Click. Come on in.
Karen opens the door and again strides confidently in.
As you enter, you have what essentially looks to be like a slightly modified coffee shop for all intents and purposes. It is a very narrow sort of structure. They've carved it out of sort of like a brownstone situation, right? Long, narrow. Right to your right, there is a lovely looking young woman, sort of darker complexion, long flowing dark hair. There's a chalkboard above her head that's got some of today's specials on it. And they happen to list things like twins, Hawaii. So what you get a very quick idea of is that they're sexual experiences and vacation experiences that are on sale there. And then carved out in the little corner, there's sort of a drinks menu sort of situation, and you see C/ up there as well as a few other items. And then down the shop, sort of set up in row, just one after another in sequence. There's 8 Netrunners chairs, and there's people in them.
In every one of them?
Half of the, I'm sorry, 3 of them are not occupied.
Okay.
As you walk in, she looks at you and greets you with a smile and says, "What can I get you two gals?"
I am interested in... Well, how do I put this? My boyfriend, I think, has been spending a bit of his time here instead of at home.
Give me a roll.
+1.
That wouldn't be the first time that's happened, but we do like to maintain a, I think you'll understand, a policy of discretion here. Our clientele tends to be paranoid.
Understandable. The slight problem that my boyfriend has is that sometimes he comes up with rather untoward means of payment, and sometimes they don't come through in the end. Maybe you've heard of him. He might have swung by while you're working. He would go by Null something. I think Wizard. Patty, do you know? Oh, Null Mage. Null Mage.
Oh, fucking no. I don't know what these nerds do.
You see an arm come up, a deck, holographic, pops up, and very quickly, data starts flowing by, and goes back. Who are you and why do you want to know about Null?
Before I answer that, can I get 2 shots, espresso, and something strong?
We don't serve liquor here. I'll get you your coffee, though.
Are you familiar with Null Mage, then?
Everybody's familiar with Null Mage. He's one of the most famous gamers online.
That's
What's
what
it?
he does.
What kind of games do you play?
Well, it would seem to me, as she tamps down your espresso, pushes a button, that maybe a couple of people who spend time with Null would know this. Tell you what, sweetheart. What's Null's real name?
I'm just gonna say, I met this chick today, and I was looking around, and I just happened to run into her, and she said her boyfriend was, like, Null Mage, so I'm just doing my job, okay?
He said his name was Jeremy. I don't actually know. I found out Null Mage was something he went by poking around when he left something open when he went to the bathroom.
You hear a ting, and the deck comes back up. She glances down really quickly. Deck just swipes up to a monitor. Video from the public surveillance system of you two walking down the street together, rewinding to the train station, getting off the train together, rewinding, going into the central terminal together, rewinding all the way back to the scrapyard.
Okay, before she gets all the way back, can I say, okay, we get the fucking point, you can put it away.
Sure.
Thanks. Look, okay. Aaron, I get what you're trying to do. Enough. Okay, look, here's the problem. Is
Patty, hold on. I think now I understand where we're at. You know where we are, and I now know where you are. You know. We were asked to come here. We were told to come here. To look for Null Mage. Find out what we would know. Find out what was here. We are just following orders.
Takes it out, takes a little shot of espresso, slides it across the counter to you, Patty. Deck comes back up, couple of things flash on the screen, and you see over here, little piece of paper, about yay big. She slides it across the counter and says, if you are who you say you are, give that to the person who it matters to, and maybe you'll know something. It's nothing more than a two-dimensional barcode.
Okay. Patty, are you going to pay
I'm going
for
to.
this?
I got it. Chill. And I walk up to the bar and I'm like, hey, can you pass me like an empty glass? Since you don't serve me, I can serve myself, right?
She's giving you a little shot glass of espresso. That's it.
All right, cool. I down the espresso and then I down like a swig from my flask. I'm like, cool. What's your name then?
I didn't say my name.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Tell Troy I said hello. And she turns her back to you.
Well, we greatly appreciate you for all of your help. I think you've made this a worthwhile trip. I wouldn't mind coming by, maybe grabbing another drink sometime.
We're not a bar.
Aaron turns to leave.
As you go through the door, you get to the other side, the door click behind you, and slides out a tray with your guns on them. With your guns on it.
I swear. Okay. Karen, why did you do the whole like, oh, I'm his girlfriend? Like, what does that get you? That just feels like you're going around the point to get to the point instead of just.
Because sometimes getting right to the point gets a gun in your face.
It's a coffee shop. Why would they automatically just hold a gun against your head? Like that looks bad.
She
for them.
told you as we were leaving, this is not a bar.
I said a
my
coffee
head
shop.
that includes coffee. It's not what they sell there. That's not what this business is, Patty.
All right. So
As you walk outside, Dalton.
Yep.
You are on the road headed towards BGTF, were you not?
Mm-hmm.
Take this.
Yeah, I received a call from Jacob to go pick him up, which I lied to him about doing because he's very obviously not in a headspace.
So, as the vehicle pulls up with you and Krill,
Turn to
Hi.
I didn't know that about. I didn't know there were so many types of invertebrates out there. Honestly, thanks for the documentary recommendations, Dalton. That's.
I mean, I didn't expect you to ignore me and watch them all in the back of your eyes the whole time, but I mean, hey, I'm glad you learned something.
I only got through like 11. And there's 4,322 that I have already downloaded.
Okay. Oh, there's Karen. I'm gonna get out of the car. Dalton steps out.
Is this still our one
oh god.
wonderful little...
Oh wow, that
Aspen, you
was
are cutting hard.
Aspen's frozen.
Yeah.
Am I?
Okay, you're
Oh, you're
back.
back.
Oh,
But you're like lagging.
Yeah. This is internet, not Discord.
I am?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful.
We missed the sentence.
Is this the Supra still?
Oh yes, I haven't traded it out.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll get in the back.
Appreciate it, hon.
Don't. No, don't. Don't
Krill
patronize
gets
me.
out. Krill gets out.
There's not room for Krill also in the back?
Is Troy in the car?
Why are you leaving?
Troy and Jacob are together in the base.
Why are
Cool.
you leaving?
Krill, stay in the back.
Krill is in the front seat.
Yeah,
Fine.
Krill has to get out for the chair to move back.
Cool.
Which Dalton
damn
moves,
this
opens
car.
the door,
I hate this car.
lets Krill out,
Also,
moves the chair back. Come on in, Karen.
Krill kind
Or
of
Patty first.
Krill's kind
This
of
whole
straight up ignoring
time, Karen
everyone.
is just tapping her foot incessantly on the sidewalk.
Ah, fuck it. Krill just walks towards the door then. They're all dealing with the fucking cart. Krill's just walking towards the place.
Krill, we already went inside.
What did you learn?
We figured out something that Troy probably needs to use.
We got a looks like a barcode that Troy would likely understand how to use.
So let's get in the car.
It's a net running cafe. We talked to the person who was working there. I don't have any interest in actually net running. Do you?
Oh, that stuff's
You
scares
actually
me.
see her kind of lean back a little. Nope, not really.
Right.
I
We probably get going. now.
thought perhaps there would be more dialogue trees. That would be required more
What's a
technical
tree?
elucidations. You don't.
Up to you.
You know what? Nah, Krill nods with the party. All right, and she follows her. Just gets in the back seat.
Dalton hurries Patty in and holds the door for Karen.
Troy, have you
Hey.
sent any of the
Thank you.
location data over to any of these relevant people?
I believe I sent it to Dalton over like a text or something.
Okay.
No, I did. I sent it to Dalton.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah. Dalton, you're headed towards the Gamer Life apartment complex, firmly within the residential area.
Okay, so once everyone's in the car, I rip out of the parking lot because I can't not rip out of this car. It's just too much fun.
Give me a roll.
Absolutely. I will roll for this forever. +1.
Dalton, my eye is already broken.
As you
happened to
do
your
this,
eye?
Dalton, an NSFPD officer fucking gives you a quick whoop.
Ooh, slow down to an appropriate speed. But keep moving.
Their car's behind you. It's not. Their lights aren't on,
I
but
didn't.
You didn't shoulder check.
Not right now, Krill. Just keep it cool for a second. Just everybody act like we totally do this all the time, and don't think about it. Well, they're not gonna pull us over. What are the odds they pull us over? It's definitely not gonna happen.
Dalton, we literally do this every time you pull out. So, like, that's not even a lie.
Have we
Okay.
not been seen on security cameras at large industrial
We
complexes?
have,
recently?
okay? Literally, the fucking
In this car?
cafe people.
as you're
I mean, we've made adjustments to it. It's not this. It's basically close to the same car.
anybody who can see out a window, give me a notice roll.
I'm having to be half turned to keep Krill from like crushing me with her metal body.
-2. Which I think that's a 0 for Krill.
Well, who knows? Maybe you
Zero.
don't.
It's a 1.
Should I give a roll? I can see out a window.
Yeah.
Technically, I only have one blind spot.
Is that Karen?
Oh, Karen, what did
I
you
got a
roll?
0.
Oh, you got a 0. Okay, so
0.
hang on. Dalton, you got a 3. Karen got a 0. Krill got a 1. Okay. Couple of things that you notice, Dalton, as you're driving. There's, the holographic advertisements actually sort of they sync with your driving. So part of the advertising mechanism is that you don't see repeat advertisements until you see the cycle of advertisements. And so they absolutely like update the next holo display tracking your car sort of situation. So they make sure that you get the optimum premium amount of time exposure to the advertisement sort of scenario. And since you're in the sort of like bougie, like it's a little bit, it's right on the edge, but you're still in the commercial section, right? The first advertisement that pops up in the commercial section is for the Pierre Genet art collective presentation at the Bubble, and it's there next Wednesday in the Southeast Wing. Right? As soon as you cross over to the industrial section, you see a Lee's Discount Armor and Weapons advertisement. So, moving forward, taking the surface street up to the main intersection, driving down the intersection, all of the just inundation, you start to see these cycles of, as you take the main highway back through, it curves through the commerce section. So you start getting the bougie advertisements again, right? You see the drop in the sex and the drugs. All of a sudden you see the pickup in, oh shit, Pierre Genet presents Reason. Right? You've got fucking art collective fucking stuff being pushed down your throat now that you're in here. Bougie advertisements. You got purses being sold to you. You got jewelry being sold to you. And as you swing through that swing into that residential zone, all of a sudden, that first line as you hit that residential, bam! Now it's all bread and circuses. Now they're advertising TV shows, and apparently the slave to ratings is proving successful. Demographic reports coming back from people's neuro implants seems to be, so they've already spun it off. Now there's a slave to ratings in space. Right, and so they've got young impressionable youth being shot up to space stations and out on satellites now to perform these sorts of activities in space, because now, well, it's a successful show and studios don't like to risk too much, so they're just gonna fucking milk that show format until it's dry. So look forward coming this week, Slave to Ratings in space, and look forward coming soon, Slave to Ratings underwater, right? So you just one after another, fucking bread and circuses.
I turned to Karen. I can't believe they went to space before the water. Seems such a weird choice.
Oh, can you not turn so hard? I don't want her fucking crushing me today.
I don't know how hard to turn for a flimsy paper krill.
He's literally made at least 200 pounds.
I am well over 400, thank you. And can you not put your finger there? Like you see Krill pushing away from her. Like it is the gravity. She keeps sliding over when we turn too hard. It's not even really in anyone's control.
Patty's like full body mode where she's got her feet into like her hip and then like her arms into her shoulder, and she's like trying to like keep her. She's like, look, okay, I know it's not your fucking fault, but like you're fucking heavy, girl.
Dalton turns around with
I'm a little aware.
While driving, Dalton turns around and looks a little more serious than his usual self. Patty, tie Krill in with the seatbelt and sit back on your side. Everyone just calm down. You'll be fine. And
I did. I can't help that she's fucking thick.
Turns to Karen. They're just always arguing. Just every goddamn time.
I'm right here. I'm not deaf.
I wonder what the compounding factor on those arguments is.
By the way, did we fucking send the barcode to Troy yet?
Oh, good idea.
Jesus.
Karen hands it back to Patty.
Okay, Krill, I'm gonna keep my feet in your goddamn hip and try to not go too hard on the shoulder, okay? I grab the paper and I take like a picture of it and I quickly hand it back and send it to Troy.
Ooh, I wonder if Krill kind of view of it though. Nah, she doesn't have the program to D.
Do you even have Troy as a contact?
Yeah, we all do.
We all do.
Yeah.
You downloaded the program. There is a peer-to-peer network.
Yeah.
And the basic message goes, Troy, scan this, see what it leads to, might connect to Null Mage.
Can Troy just scan and
Camera cuts from this clusterfuck of a car ride, right? And we enter a scene that you know is just the most horrific smell. Just horror. Just horror has been wrought upon your base.
Troy is just standing over Jacob, and Troy just looks down at him and says, "You appear to be experiencing severe abdominal distress."
Ding.
You think? Oh, Jesus Christ. And just slowly, ever so slowly, does Jacob just fucking slump just against the wall and just start staring up at him. So what, you the new medic here?
My medical programming does not cover this sort of thing.
Dear God.
You've got a you've got a message waiting for you, Troy.
Jacob just kind of sees Troy like perk up since none of his alerts are external. So it's just like Troy, you just see Troy go. And Troy receives the message and the barcode scan from Patty and processes it.
A piece of software from passerby pops up, and it seems to be some sort of subtextual network encryption system that allows for direct two-way communication. And it starts contacting, and you hear ving, ving, and then picks up at the other end, and you hear Rez's voice. Is this Troy?
Is this Rez?
Troy, do you happen to know two dysfunctional ladies who are of, shall we say, ill temper?
Accessing my memories. These parameters would suggest Karen and Patty.
Yes, those names match. Well, your friends just came and visited. I would suggest that maybe you pass on a message to them. They're not very good at gathering information. Maybe leave the Sherlock routine to someone else. They wanted to know things about Null, and I told them essentially to kick rocks. But I did a little bit of digging and found that they were at a lot of the same locations as you. So I went out on a limb and gave them an encrypted burner comm for, and to see if it made its way back to you.
What is Jacob seeing right now?
Nothing.
Jacob's just seeing Troy just kind of look straight ahead.
Yeah. His comms are internal.
Okay.
And if Troy's talking to a netrunner, for all you know, this is a subconscious conversation, so it's happening in milliseconds.
Okay.
So Patty and Karen were unable to ascertain any information.
Well, the truth of the matter is I don't know much either. I do know about Null's other life, but that's neither here nor there. Did you find out anything?
I have.
Wait, would you find out?
Null Mage is a female human living in the Gamer Life apartments.
Yep, That tracks. All right. Well, let me know if you have any further updates. Another one just messed himself in a chair. I gotta go.
Is Jacob there? But Jacob is here.
I don't know.
Excuse me, that was a discrepancy.
Okay. Well, if you ever want to get a hold of me, Troy, you can always come to the club. Click.
Troy just kind of snaps back and looks at Jacob. Doesn't even acknowledge that little conversation he had and just says, "Is there anything I can do to assist you?"
Just a little cough from Jacob, and he just looks up and says, let's fucking... Is there a shower here?
There are no refresher facilities in this building.
Wanna fucking help me find a place with some?
Troy just says, or Troy doesn't say anything, and he just walks over and offers Jacob a hand.
Jacob fucking just takes it, and very slowly, and just arm slings around him. And it's just like, look, let's go fucking hit up Jiku.
You're referring to the child outside front.
Yes, that's him.
Perhaps you will know a better location?
That's what I'm hoping. And he just fucking just starts limping.
Yeah,
out of the way.
Troy just starts taking Jacob. Actually, before they leave, Troy does suggest, I can carry you like I carried Dalton earlier.
I think, let me just walk a little bit.
Very well.
As you approach Jigu's stall, he's making some of the traditional noodles, sort of a mildly flat and sometimes round noodle for the jiajiang. So he's actually hand rolling and kneading the dough for the day.
Not wanting to spare Jigu from the smell, Jacob like just calls from like fucking like 12 feet out. Hey, bro, you know any fucking places with showers around here?
You standing under one?
A real one, asshole.
You could use mine.
I don't think you'd want that.
Is there a reason you would want to deny access to his facilities?
Like, you don't shit where you eat, Troy.
That does sound counterproductive.
There's a hose in the courtyard.
Troy, you think you could hose me down?
This is within my capabilities, yes.
Come on, buddy. And then he just looks over. Can we keep this between the two of us?
I am programmed to maintain discrepancy with all clients.
Thank you.
The hose is on Jigu's side. It's over in the corner, the sort of back corner, but it's close to his stall. So you can see he's peeking out through the stall, trying to get an angle on whatever's going on back there.
And just as right now, it's just like Jacob and Troy just like face to face with his arm just around Troy's shoulder.
You see, as this proceeds, and Troy grabs the hose, and Jacob just starts to. You see a little, just from the like sort of the pillars of the, because his stall has sort of the open window, and there's sort of pillars there, and then there's a doorway right here. If you were paying attention, which I don't think either of you are, frankly, but if you were paying attention, you'd see the little edge of a comm device just slide out past that pillar, just a 2 centimeters maybe, right? And slides back in. Camera cuts with just Jigu looking at his comm screen, the holographic projection of, like, you know, because the devices themselves actually like project the holographic screen up, and you see from over here, right? You don't see the screen, you just see the look of horror on Jigu's face, that he's just like, oh. Cut. We return to a camera tracking shot of the Supra as it comes up and rounds around a corner, and you start to see in the distance, because one of the things, there's a lot of like sort of cattle like housing in NSF, but there's a lot of themed housing as well. There's places for people who build their identity in life around certain things. And so the Gamer Life apartments can be seen from quite a distance because there's pulsing RGB lights around the edges of the building that are constantly pulsing back and forth, cycling through red, green, and blue. And as you pull up, what you find is a sort of a block building with a pavilion, with an open air park in the center of it. There's basically 4 sides to this apartment complex with a sort of a hole carved out in the front side. And as you pull up, you can see the entirety of the front of the building actually has a holographic display on it. And it's advertising it's advertising a pre-order available now exclusive DLC for the Street Fighter 60th Anniversary Edition. So what do you do as you pull up?
I think at this point, Patty and Krill finally figured out the balance. This way they're not like killing each other.
Oh, Krill undid the seatbelt. She's wrapped herself in it like 3 times, tied it, and then clicked it back in. She's like pinned against the door right now.
And then Patty just takes another swig. Dalton, I get it. You like it. It's a nice car, but I'm fucking telling you, we need a bigger car.
I hear you. Well, we'll get around to it, okay? It's not harming us now. And I already know how to park it in the garage. A whole new car's going to be a thing.
Yes, but I don't want to get in the back of the car every time and, like, be nearly crushed or be bouncing on top of Jacob's lap with his fucking robot metal-ass legs, okay?
I mean, that sounds like a personal problem. Dalton gets out of the car.
Aaron also gets out.
I start unwrapping Krill.
There was safety in the lack of movement.
Yes, but we gotta get out.
Okay. Krill gets out of the car.
As you get out, the advertisement cycles. Now coming to PlayStation 20, Skyrim.
Krill just looks up. I've lost so many hours to that fucking game.
I haven't played a game since the early 2010s.
As you say that, there's a couple of like residents hanging outside the building who are in an argument that has clearly been started over the 60th anniversary Street Fighter Edition ad, and one of them is saying, "This is bullshit. This is a 2-year pre-order. They want us to start pre-ordering these fucking games 2 years out." And as they hear you say that, the other one turns around and goes, "Oh, we're having a retro games tournament next week here. If you want to swing by, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is going to be the main game. We're going to have a competition, but we're going to have some Red Dead Redemption, some Starfield. It'll be great. Yeah, you should swing by for the Retro Games Con."
Oh, that sounds great. Those are approximately most of the games I know about. So yeah, that sounds like a fun little thing.
I stick my head out Simpson style and I go, "Nerd!"
As you do, there's a a sound that comes over a tannoy system that says jock detected, and a bot comes up and literally a toilet comes out and just a bot slams your head into the toilet and gives you an insta swirly.
Rilla's watching this, and there's just the slowest.
I look at them and I say, "This is the closest you will ever get to a woman wet."
Dalton leans over to Krill. I mean, I'm not gonna laugh out loud and upset Patty, but that was kind of amazing.
So what do you guys?
Dalton turns to Karen. What are we looking for here?
You were
So I believe we are after apartment 420.
Does anybody want to do some investigation rolls? Does anybody want to look around, narrate how they look around?
Get into
Karen
it.
is trying to avoid looking at the blasting light of the screen and look down into the corridor to see if there's actually people who hang out in that central area, or is it completely empty?
I mean, other than the two nerds who are basically having an argument in that area right now, there's some people coming and going. I mean, it's a 1,000-person apartment block, right? So there's a small trickle of coming and going constantly.
Okay. And are they like coming into the middle and then out through the opening?
There are doors on all 4 sections, basically.
Okay. Where would a directory be? How are we going to find this?
Is it
apartment?
online?
Give me a roll.
Me or
Anybody who's fucking looking.
I'm gonna.
Jesus, -2.
+1.
Yeah, Dalton's gonna check like the roadways and stuff for police presence and stuff like that. Anything out of the ordinary for the usual.
There is a no parking sign out front.
Am I in that?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Dalton.
You guys start here. I might have to change my spot.
Krill. There's a sign on each building that very clearly elucidates how this is laid out. To your left as you walk in is apartments 1 through 250. Straight ahead is 251 to 500. They're laid out in a very logical procession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So extrapolating out, Krill very quickly realizes it's the building directly in front of you, and it will be the 17th floor, the 10th apartment, which will be right by the elevator banks on the right-hand side.
Krill has not entered the building. You have a 3D scan of the building's internals, just blipping. Not like she's taken it, but she's literally just done the math. It's like, it's there.
Okay. Well,
Krill also goes and walks out to those nerds, though.
They're still very. One of them is down for the pre-order. One of them is basically this is a 2046 Reddit or like gaming r/gaming argument just happening before your very eyes. This is the problem with you. Like you're gonna get the game anyway, so why do you pre-order it? You know it's not even gonna be finished upon delivery. And I mean, let's face it, it's not like they're gonna give you any actual DLC. It's just gonna be some bullshit costume. Well, I like the costume. I want to have all the costumes. Yeah, but you're not even going to get the exclusive content to the other platforms. You're just going to get locked in again. So what are you going to do? Buy every edition of the game? And the guy just takes a beat and goes, yeah. I swear to fuck. This is why you ended up spending 1,200 creds on that stupid fucking mining game, is because you just kept paying for the premium coins, Dude, they've got you.
The terminology is still aptly used as a whale, and I think you should probably go to the economic therapist to discuss this, as you probably don't have a good control over your spending habits.
fuck you, I do what I want. He turns around and walks away.
Anyway, so now that he's gone, do you find that late at night, besides your normal gaming, do you find that there's major internet usages in the B block?
I mean, we have like building managers for that. Like, are you looking for an apartment here? Is that like what you're?
Yeah, no, I'm. She like just kind of gestures to herself. I require quite a lot of updates, so I just want to make sure that if I was going to an apartment, I'm finding the ones with the lowest bandwidth. So I really don't want to mess with other neighbors, gaming.
Oh yeah, no.
that.
We've got a fat pipe here. Yeah, B Block has had some weird complaints about power. Like brownouts. Nobody's blacked out yet, but like, yeah, they've had some weird complaints about power sometimes. But like, no, we've got a fat pipe. Like, the apartment complex actually ran 10 gig fiber to every apartment, but we don't have shared bandwidth either. So you've got your own dedicated 10 gig fiber line to every single apartment, which should be enough for most net diving these days. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But you said there were some brownouts, though. I'd be worried. And at that moment, one of her drones lifts off of her back and kind of like just scuttles out. I just have things that rely on power, so I'd be worried about them not being able to charge in case something went wrong.
Oh, like I said, it's only their block. So like, I mean, you know, 3 out of 4.
It was the only. It was the one offered, so I excuse me.
I mean,
that's why I was looking.
Yeah, get a battery backup, I guess. Like I said, it hasn't been blackouts. It's just been brownouts so far. So, if you're just worried about a dip, yeah.
All right, no, thank you. The manager was a little dicey on actually having what we just discussed openly, so thank you. That answered questions, and you know what? I might see you as a neighbor.
Oh, rock on. What kind of games you play?
And then at that moment, a holographic projection comes up of Krill's KD ratio on Mechasol 2040, whatever it is.
2046.
Yeah, 2046. Well, actually, no. She still plays 2038 because she finds it is actually the more streamlined game, and the modders have the most fun with it. So that's the one she still sticks with.
All right. He's like, 38. You know what? That was a good year. Dude. When they added that next gen DRM into it, I mean, let's just face it. Like, we crack it anyway. But like, I mean, who wants to deal with it, right? Who wants to deal with it?
The sheer amount of spyware software in the most recent ones is ridiculous. Like, I feel like they're trying to check my vital signs while I'm just playing their fucking game. I don't appreciate it.
Oh, well, I heard that Empress uploaded her consciousness to an AI back in the up to the cloud in like the the late 2030s, and has been just cracking that DRM for us ever since. So yeah, look into some Empress cracks.
I will.
Rock on.
The player herself is going to write that note down for a second. Give me. I got him. All right.
I feel like we're like sitting off to the side a little bit as she's talking to this
Dalton's
but it's a different language.
Yeah.
It's a different language.
Yeah, no, like I'm talking to Karen. I'm like, I feel like I got like an eighth of that. Like I
I
heard
wasn't
like
even listening.
Karen's just investigating.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. It's just the gamers start talking, and then my brain just shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is Mecha Solve? What is that?
Crow walks
No
back.
idea. What?
Crow walks back to the car now.
Well, we're standing outside. He's parking the car.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I walk back to the crowd. So, got information. Been weird things happening in B block. We know exactly where the apartment is. They are all on separate bandwidth, which actually means that if we were wanting to, say, scout what they've been doing, it means actually we could go to their apartment or find the central, systems room, and we could actually just potentially tap in there.
If they even have one in that building. They
we
might
just
be
wanna-
straight piped to each room.
Each room has one. There is an IT manager who is handling everything from there, though. These are the kind of people that would try and murder you if you didn't let them have at least some ability to tweak things when shit went wrong.
Do we just want to check the room first, just to make sure?
Let's go up to the apartment.
As Dalton pulls the car around, I do want to. Dalton's like looking at his communication device and thinking to himself, he doesn't know anything about new age gaming. He doesn't know anything about these apartments, and he hasn't spoken to his fixer in a while. And he's like, could I call them and maybe it's cooled down. Maybe we're cool. I've never been sent here. Maybe he has information. Maybe I could do something because I'm feeling useless. So Dalton's gonna try to call his old fixer.
As soon as you try and call, there is no ring. There is simply a system message that comes up that says this line has been disconnected.
I knew that. It was a long shot that he'd keep that phone line from me. Okay. Puts his communicator back in his pocket. Driving around looking for parking so hopefully he can get back close to the situation. But yeah, do you
Okay. Karen, Patty, and Krill in absentia. What do you do as you?
I pull up to a space as close as I can to the building.
Cool. Give me a roll.
+1.
You find a space, but it's about a block away, and conveniently, it's in the parking lot of Lee's Discount Armor and Weaponry. So, like, big, sort of decent amount of parking there. It's a sort of Lee's Discount Weaponry is a long established sort of like the community. Like, he's been around for a while. The family's been around for a while, right? They're an immigrant family that filled a need, right? Saw an opportunity and filled a need. Like, rather than that top end gear, how about some used and secondhand items? And how about, some discontinued lines and bulk purchases and stuff like that, and filled the need for a growing underbelly of a megalopolis. Gives out turkeys. Every Christmas, so yep. So you can find a spot there. We cut back to our trio in the sort of Center Park area. What are you guys up to?
I think we should head to the entrance that's closest to B block.
There's an entrance right in the corner, where every corner basically has an elevator bank. So, like, if you're thinking about like how the buildings are numbered, or how the rooms are numbered, left to right, 1 to 10 sort of situation, there's one at the end of 1. There's one at the end of 10. So every sort of corner has a dual elevator block that services each section of the building. So as you go forward, the door is locked. This is sort of a key fob buzz you in sort of scenario for an apartment complex.
Brill does a quick sweep of their website to see if they actually had any like, hey, apply here for like apartments. We're open. Look for residents. Do they have any ads like that, or is it kind of get the feel of?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Krill looks for the manager's name on the site.
The manager's name is Hilda Nakata.
Krill goes to the board and just hits Hilda's buzzer.
Hello?
Sorry. Hi. I was wondering about any of your open apartments.
File online.
Would you allow us a walkthrough first? I have special needs, and I'm so tired of.
I don't have time for this. I have to pick my kid up. Look, I'm gonna buzz you in. Look around, but I can't let you into any apartments. But you can see the inside of the building. File a thing online. Click.
After you all.
Nice.
Thank you, dear.
Good job. Cool. Yeah, we make our way to the 17th floor.
Elevator.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you taking a staircase or you taking an elevator?
I'm taking the elevator.
Real with
on,
the
come
fucking
on, Carrie.
crutch is
Join it.
going for an elevator.
Can Dalton,
I'll
can
race you
Dalton
there.
catch up before the door slams behind them?
Probably not, frankly.
Didn't think so. No, he's a chubby bunny.
Yeah.
You know, here's what we'll do. You run the elevator, I'll race you up the stairs.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a roll to see if Krill sees Dalton running. For a notice check.
Nope.
Please. a
Only
block
plus
away.
1. No, you know what? I don't think Krill's making it with a plus 1.
You know, he's also a block away, so he wouldn't be able to catch him.
She's got good eyes, but no, she
Okay.
wasn't looking out for
To be
him.
fair, he also hasn't rested yet.
Yeah. I mean,
So
he had a little sit down, a little nap, little ice cream sort of
Got to sit in
situation.
the car for a bit.
Yeah, like I mean, you know, the consequences aren't necessarily gone, but the stress is at least. So
Yeah, if he just started moving again, it would be just returning to that setting.
okay.
Of, oh, God.
Tell you what, Patty, give me your roll, and I will roll for the elevator.
Let's do.
All right. You guys step into the elevator. You see Patty fucking just slam like a fire exit door open, and just you hear as the doors shut, and you hear as you see the light, 17th floor, ding, the doors open. Standing there is a sweat-covered Patty.
Oh. Yeah, fuck you, elevator. Suck it.
Krill scans Patty's vitals.
Patty, feel free to take a physical stress as a result of that, though.
It was worth it. It's fucking worth it.
You're lucky you're so fit you would be risking hypertension.
It's not the first time I've pulled shit. You just work through that shit. You douse like a fucking half a bottle of vodka and you just keep going.
Not the first time Patty's been sprinting today.
As you exit the elevator, the apartment is directly to your right. Number 10 is
Exactly where Krill.
right by the
Exactly
elevator.
where Krill mathematically knew it'd be.
Yeah.
Right here.
There is no apparent mode of entry through this door.
Oh. Oh. Can I do a deep scan on the door frame? See if there's like one of those like hidden fob things that you're just supposed to like slap your card against?
You can. Give me a roll.
Investigation. Let's do. There we go.
Vroom, vroom. In Krill's vision, you see a digital breakdown. There's a touch plate right to the left of the door frame inside it.
Touch plate. Fuck.
That means it's probably thumbprinted or something along those lines. Can't just open someone's door. She tries at least. Should she try? Actually, you see her go to touch the spot and she stops.
What's the issue?
That's the button to open it. It is sensitive to touch. I don't know if it needs her touch.
Can't you do your like hacking thing?
I can. Yes. Anyone else have any ideas before?
Is there a camera around that can see this? Do we need to like block it?
You think
That
the
is worth
door would open if I yelled at it?
Fortunately, door armed men can.
Patty, give me a roll. Disadvantage for huffing and puffing, but you did suggest it. So if anybody wants to also roll,
+0.
Come on, me. -1 on notice. I assume notice.
no, it was going to be an investigate.
Oh god, -4.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh man. Yeah.
There appear not to be any cameras.
Hate that phrasing, but we'll have to go with it.
What's a camera?
I'm not just made of mostly them or anything.
The only camera is the one I take for my only stands.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Krill, actually, with that same diagnostic, can I tell if there is like a doorbell function to this, or is it just it's like a one button system, it's just expecting to be touched?
I'll let you roll for further analysis and like investigation into what you discovered.
Okay. That's a 0 on the dice.
It is a part of a circuit that is attached to multiple wiring paths.
Shit. It's not just the door. This is probably a security system. Alright, I'm going to invoke Your Tech Likes Me Better. And Krill is going to, as best as she can, just kind of like cover the door frame with her clunky body and do her thing.
Describe what her thing is. What are you doing?
Shit, actually, you're right. This thing probably doesn't have any wireless feed or anything, does it? If anything, actually, Krill stops and follows the lines to see if they go to any like power boxes. And
I mean, yeah, there's power supply to it.
Krill's gonna fake a brownout to get through this door.
How do you plan on doing that?
Oh, God damn it, this isn't gonna be Star Wars where you remove power, door opens. It's not gonna be that kind of shit, no. I don't know, I'm just afraid of, like, at this point, Krill's just been, like, frozen sitting there. And, like, Patty and Karen should at least be noticing this at this point.
Krill, you good? Do you need, like, a cold pack to help?
I can't just hack anything. It's not a fob. It's not a wireless input. It's not expecting data. This is, by all accounts, a lock and key, and the key's a thumb.
I mean, how many times did she press it? Can you figure out that and, like, scan it or something?
Do what with the scan?
I just personally love that, like, the greatest enemy any tabletop group ever faces is a door.
Almost always.
Super consistent.
Okay.
Super consistent. Yeah.
I'm trying so hard not to use knowledge Karina knows.
I know.
Because it's not the same for Krill.
No,
it's not the same.
It's the trap of a door.
Krill, just, I don't know, scan it or something. Like, you're literally a fucking robot, okay?
You know what? Like, Krill turns around and just heavy x-rays Patty.
Make sure you
Just a
capture my tits in
flash.
that.
You just see a flash.
Flash of cancer rays.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to fucking metric that. Like, there's no amount of stress that I can put on your kid. Like, I mean, congratulations. You don't really, Krill, you really don't even see anything. Like, it's just a white image. You've put so much X-ray through Patty that there's no, like, there's nothing there. You see like building framework and maybe a mild shadow of a ghost outline.
Patty, like, gets, like, a bad taste in her mouth and spits on the ground.
Little metallic taste in the back of your throat.
And then she just immediately goes for the alcohol. It's just...
It tastes funny now.
What did you fucking do?
Um,
Krill, I will kill you. I will find your creator. I will make another version of you. And I will literally... beat
When
them
you
up.
find him, tell me. I'm looking for him too.
I just keep trying to down it, and the taste doesn't get better. I'm like, God, no!
It tastes like grog. Like, it tastes like it's been watered down with seawater. Like, I don't know what
This
to...
is the wine!
Dalton, you well have arrived into the courtyard at this point. Even just walking your way there, you are firmly there. Now doesn't seem to be any conversations going in the courtyard, but there are the occasional people coming and going.
I'm still locked out from the building, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And unless your teammates have communicated the details of where the apartment is located, you may not also be aware of where the apartment is located.
Dalton did get the 3D projection as well.
All right, then, Dalton, you're at least aware of where they may be, or at least where they're headed.
Okay. Dalton looks for the kid that was talking about the tournament.
That was the pair that actually had the conversation in front of Krill, and then that dude walked off after Krill had her conversation with him. So they're no longer present. But I mean, if you want to just stop a random goer,
Yeah, that's failing to see those two kids. Yeah, he's just gonna stop someone who looks like they live here. Someone in a hoodie.
Tell you what, you give me a roll.
Meanwhile, they're still arguing.
+3.
A 19, 21, something in that territory that was a good roll. Is exiting building 2.
Dalton catches the door and looks at her. Sorry, my kids locked me out. This you kids these days, and tries to slide past her.
The young yeah. You are essentially, as a middle-aged man, invisible to anyone under a certain age. Your comment, your words just slide right off, just glazed look and just whatever. And just
perfect. Head to the elevator.
Yep.
Get inside the elevator, ride it up,
Ding.
Get off, hoping that Krill's map is correct. I assume open the door to these.
They are directly to your right as you walk out.
As soon as the elevator opens, Patty's yelling, "I'm going to kick down this fucking door if you don't do something right now."
I see this is going just great.
Actually, Krill just turns around and takes her crutch and goes...
To the door?
Yeah.
You hear
all this time for a knock.
You hear a banging from above and below. The neighbors fucking keep it fucking down.
I mean, now you know this building's not very well insulated.
Or
Apparently
streamers.
not.
Addie, instead of pulling out the last bit of the wine, she's gonna pull out a thing of vodka and she hits it and she's like, okay, this still tastes like shit.
That would
Great.
be worse.
Yes.
That has
but-
even less of a flavor profile on its own.
Exactly. She knows what she's getting with it.
So, have we made a decision about the door, kids?
Girl just knocked.
Yeah. Nothing happened
Nothing
except
happened.
neighbors
Fuck.
yelling at you to shut the fuck up.
Does the air taste metal out here?
Yeah. You know what?
Oh,
Actually,
there's
I have
actually
a-
just there is the slightest outline of a person. You see, there's just the slightest dark patch of a person's outline on the door, on the wall behind where Patty was, and just the wall looks slightly bleached for just a small area.
I have an idea. And I start rubbing my hands together to set up the defibrillation.
Okay.
And I hold my thumb against the thumbprint to try and shock it to get it to open up.
Give me a roll.
Wild. You're wild for this one.
-1.
No, no.
You
Can I use a fate point?
can.
Okay.
How are you going to invoke that fate point?
So in the shocking, basically the electricity, while she would have had normal thumbprints in this process, because her hands are specifically altered, it makes her kind of, to some extent, have multiple thumbprints and none at the same time.
Aspect, Patty. What aspect?
Oh, she's got med tactic gear. That's all she fucking got. She's got hands. She got special hands.
Okay, so that gets you a +1.
Okay.
So would you like me to... As soon as your thumb comes into contact with the thumbprint, a large discharge occurs. Now in combination with your charge on top of it.
Oh, so they're coming.
Take 5 physical stress.
I am.
You are dropped to the floor. You're not unconscious, but it puts you on your fucking ass.
I have a total of 4 physical stress.
That means you have to take a consequence.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that... Which consequence are you taking to eat those points?
Is it possible to take a mild consequence for this?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfectly.
I feel like the consequence she would get is her muscles are a little stiff for the rest of the day because that hyper athleticism in addition to working out with Dalton, and then this is just basically her kind of like...
I'm going to say your right hand is burned.
Okay. Ow.
Yeah.
That was where my brain's going, like, right hand's burned, or like your hands are short fused for a bit or something. Like,
yeah. You have burned out that right hand.
Okay, so my left hand's good, but my right hand's bad. Got it.
Yep.
Oh.
Dalton
Patty-
hovers over Patty.
Patty on the floor. But Dalton and Krill at the same time, just leaning over Patty.
God, Patty.
You got
That
knocked,
wasn't it, Chief. That wasn't the move.
you got knocked the fuck out.
Your body has taken an extreme amount of electrical and physical stress.
Big yikes, girl. Big yikes.
Yeah.
I don't think that was very wise. There was a reason
standing
I was
over me is
protecting the
not
door.
helping right now.
High key, you got zapped.
Just
What
give
if
me
Krill...
just get me on my ass. Just let me get on the wall.
One of Krill's, like, atmosphere sensors, aka her long-ass nostril tentacles, just, like, runs across Patty's face as she's leaning up.
Yeah, Dalton's gonna put elbow under armpit and help Patty drag to the wall.
Oh no, Krill's just making it more uncomfortable. She's not fucking helping.
Well,
This entire
Dalton is.
time, Karen's been trying to hide her laughter and not doing very good at it.
Did the door get
Oh,
open?
yeah.
Just please tell me the door opened.
Dalton looks at the door,
No, doors.
course
looks
not.
back at Patty. I hate to
Turn
give
the
you
lock.
bad news.
Try opening it.
Turn the lock. Oh, that's what. Yeah, that's what you failed at.
All right, Krill actually just starts following some wires now because she is running out of patience, and she is just gonna go see if she can find a network box for whatever security system this is.
Give me a roll.
+2. Fuck yes, that's what we needed.
Patty basically exploded the capacitors in the locking mechanism. And so Krill actually can get to the wiring behind it now rather than a seamless panel. It has.
Oh, thank good.
And,
thank goodness.
And so,
those tiny, spindly little fingers that seem to be useless for Krill, suddenly now you start seeing why they have the weird joints in them as they start now moving behind the panel's broken, like, bent shape. You start hearing like a and then almost
like straight up Dalton and Patty would know this, like probably, like Patty maybe not, Dalton probably, late night TV, classic reruns, that sort of thing. The door is in fact a pocket door, and the door itself doesn't make the noise. A small speaker in the corner of the door, and as it slides out of the way, it goes
Oh, that brings back memories.
I love this place.
So doors open.
Krill's just kind of looking. I don't think I would hate living here.
Dalton just looks away from Patty, doesn't help Patty up, just leaves her on the wall. What's this look like?
I'll get myself up, and as she tries to like put one hand, like her right hand under her, because it's like her dominant hand, it like slips out and hurts like.
Take one more physical stress.
She can't take any more physical stress.
Krill? Okay, now Krill non-ironically stops being a shitter and goes to help Patty and walks her to whatever the nearest sofa is or whatever in the apartment. She just helps her get over there. There's a lot of weight you can lean on.
There is a single chair in the corner. I want notice rolls from everybody who's going in the apartment.
Dalton walking in like it's not a B&E.
Fuck, Krill! God damn it. Patty's like over
-1. Yeah,
Patty's right now.
Patty's still out of it. She's like
0.
Ow.
Okay, so let me work down the list here. Dalton's rolling well today. Let's just put it that way. Karen 0, Krill -2. Patty, you like don't even matter at this point. You're mildly incapacitated at this point.
Yeah. This is revenge for dousing Jacob.
Okay. So basic things that everybody notices. As you come in through the door, there's this sort of apartment, narrow sort of, walkway, and the sort of the blocks that then, right-hand angle sort of situation. On your left, there is a secured door. It seems to be that this entire thing going on over here is probably not bog standard for this apartment complex. Let's just say that this is probably an aftermarket going on here. The right-hand side has a basic small bathroom. There's there's an ultrasonic shower in there. There's, a refuse disposal and a sink and a mirror and a little cabinet for toiletry sort of situation. As you go in, the main area of the apartment is fundamentally sort of like an open plan. There's a small kitchenette sort of situation going on in the far right corner, and in the far left corner, you can sort of see that there's a door that's propped open. And Dalton, you especially, you glance around. You're not fuck whatever. They're doing their thing. You just kind of nose around a little bit. And so, Dalton, you very quickly see that, for everybody else, there is a chair in the living room, like off to the left where like maybe the sort of entertainment area might normally be. There is a full Netrunner set up with the feminine form laid across it. Dalton, things you notice. Right, there is a bedroom in the back left corner that seems fairly untouched, but some of the like nuances that you notice, it's a very sparsely furnished apartment, but it seems to be almost intentional. There are a few things, and they seem to be knickknacks that they seem to be keepsakes. There's a series of pictures of a child with an older woman, and the kid's holding a trophy, and it's got a little note that's attached to it that says, always keep winning. Love you, Adrian, Mom. There's a series of trophies and medals and awards that are on this shelf next to the photo, and there's a small little model of a 3.5 null mage on the corner of that shelf.
So, is there someone sitting in the chair?
There is a feminine form in the chair.
Cool.
Sorry, go ahead, Patty.
Patty's like, okay, do we know where the person is? I'm having a hard time looking around right now.
Can Troy send a message to Patty real quick if they're done with Jacob?
By all means, yeah.
Patty gets a message on her comms device and states, "Null Mage is a human female. This is the only information I was able to gather about the subject."
Yeah. Like, she's typing with one hand now. She's like, yeah, I think we found them. And it's like, alright.
Dalton's picked up the picture with the note and examining it closer.
It's outside the old the old NSF convention center, that the Bubble convention center that you guys are intimately familiar with. Replaced. And you can see in the background the sign 2031 gaming tournament.
It's a standard frame with the photo in it.
Yeah.
Pop the back off.
Nothing.
Take the photo. I pocket it, hopefully so no one sees.
Give me a roll. Give me counter rolls for anybody who's in the room.
I don't even know what I'm rolling on.
+1.
+1.
Okay, so Krill you noticed. Nobody else noticed.
Can I counter roll to see if I notice Krill noticing?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you spotted a mile away.
As soon as Krill sees me, I wink at Krill. And then,
I'm not sure if you see Krill seeing you. I think you see number 2 on her back out of the port, staring at you.
But I know that I wink at whatever indicates at me.
Yeah. With a +5, he notices.
Yeah. Patty starts walking over to the body, I guess, as she's still shaking off the hand. And she starts doing a diagnostic scan with her eyes. Just to...
give me a roll.
Okay. +3.
Patty, welcome to your scene. This is not a model that you're intimately familiar with, but you likely know what you need to tell Krill to start searching the net for. So, first things first, You go up, turn the wrist, and there's a barcode that Krill can scan. Second thing, you've seen this before. You've seen this several times before. You're a medtac medic. Now, while you respond to street shootings, gang shootings, but also corpo gigs, high-end clients, all of which also include various forms of warfare. And electronic warfare is very much the primary form of warfare as far as certain levels of warfare go in this world. This is a burned out runner. This is a netrunner's augmented body. And I'm going to just presume that you point out to Krill what Krill needs. And Krill, what you find very quickly. Did I never give that to myself? Oh well, either way, I'll give it to myself now because I know where it is. There we go. Krill, what you find is model UA-NRF. You ready?
Oh, fuck.
UA-NRF BAU 4.2. Also known as the Uradella Astra Joint Project Netrunner Full Body Augmentation Unit Model 4.2. What you're looking at is a full body replacement for net diving. Now, these bodies are not top secret. They're sold on the open market. There's retail. So when you go to look for information, further information on this, you very quickly get shunted over to an Uradella Astra landing page that has... Good.
Is that Uradella Uradella?
Dude, I need to check my spelling on Uradella, but it's U-R... Let me confirm later, but it's Uradella, I believe.
Cool. Just want to make sure I got that.
You very quickly get shunted over to a landing page for the product. Now, Patty, what you're finding in your scans, with especially a good roll, this is a burned out netrunner. This can happen via a variety of ways. You can spike somebody electronically. You could OD on C/. You could, so there's chemically and electronically ways to burn a net runner, right? And so what you're seeing very easily is a burned out net runner.
Okay.
Krill, if you want to know,
they're dead.
Well, that's the interesting thing. They're a vegetable. They're brain dead.
And they're realistically only alive right now because they're still jacked in.
Correct.
All right.
All right.
I want to ask Krill something specific. When she's burnt out, you said there was a brownout or like a spike in electricity, right?
It said they've been having a few brownouts and excessive pulls in electricity usage, but nothing that's like fully blacked out the building yet.
All right, cool. So Kai, there's two things I want to do. Is I want to take, Krill, can you find a record in the list of brownouts? And I want to try to figure out when was the spike in her gear, and that's what I want to find out. Like, when did she spike and when did she potentially get burnt out?
Krill just plugs in. Okay, so Krill goes to an exterior port on the chair and just starts. Actually, you know what? There's probably a connected server and like computer to all this, anyways. isn't there?
A Netrunner's chair basically is not just a chair. It's an entire lounge sort of situation, and there's an entire apparatus at the head of it with various wires connecting to them, as well as a cabinet full of equipment behind.
All right, perfect. Krill lifts some of the screens, like how dentists lift their lights, and while she's doing it, though, she's taking her port, slipping it in, jacking in, and is trying to find any amount of brainwave activity.
Give me a roll.
Oops. Well. Hey! I'll take that. +2.
There is none.
Okay. She is completely a vegetable.
Yeah, I already figured that out. I need to know whenever it's spiked to know when she burnt out. This way we can get kind of an autopsy on her.
One can still hope that there was an echo.
I'm sorry, look, I've seen this like at least a dozen times, she's gone. She is goodbye. Like, she is not responding to any physical stimuli, and realistically, the only thing keeping her alive right now is the fact that she's jacked into the system. The minute you pull her out, her body's going to go into shock and collapse.
Point of lore order? No.
No?
This is a UA-NRF-BAU. This is not a biological unit that you're looking at. This is, tell you what, we'll reorder things just to help you out a little bit here. I'll be kind from the lore gods and presume that Krill, when pulling the model number, pulled the information for the landing page. And I will tell you some of the sales points of this particular device. Supplemental nutritional systems for 72-hour extended net dives, now featuring the capability to process and communicate food sensations to its pilot. Please note, usage of extended nutritional stores will require equivalent caloric replacement intake. External high-bandwidth neuroconnection ports for near-zero latency and full sensory immersion. Limited regenerative capability for external blemishes using 6th-gen atomic replicating nanoskin. Inbuilt firmware-based customizable skin patterning for easy on-the-fly tattoo and skin pigmentation capabilities. Primary and secondary sexual characteristics customizable via proprietary external adaptation kit, sold separately. Please note, lifting capacity restriction of 45 kilograms and a running speed limitation of 10 kilometers per hour. And there's a button at the bottom of the website that says, press here to contact an Uradella sales representative for a quote today.
All right. Now, is the brain inside this body a brain, or has it actually been a replaced system as well?
No, that's a part of the deal. Is essentially what this is a brain in a jar.
Yeah. Okay. So, a very fancy Krill. Except for Krill still got some rest of her body for some fucking reason. Anyways, all the same, Krill's looking it over. There's nothing to restore working with tissue brain.
Essentially what occurs is either electrically or chemically, the electrochemical system of the nervous system of a human being can be overloaded. And so whether you do that via a spike or whether you do that chemically, the end result is the same. The neurons, the synapses have literally overloaded themselves.
Yeah. Fried, gone, kaput.
Yeah.
All right. So Krill, realizing there is like a little somberness to her, seeing someone similar to her just lying dead and frozen. Something. It sits in her head. that she still faces the mortal coil like all these other fleshies do. But Troy doesn't. Troy could be restored, rebooted, turned back on,
Hint of jealousy.
updated. A little hint of jealousy. All the same though, Krill goes into the she goes into the data cache, starts seeing, okay, so when was there a major download of an invasive situation? At some point she will find this flicker that Patty wants. This
I'm not going to make you roll for it.
no, oh fuck, I already did.
Well, either way, the roll is inconsequential. You don't find anything.
Do I find nothing?
No, you just don't find anything related to that search. There doesn't seem to be any level of power spike that has hit this chair.
Oh.
What are you getting, Krill?
Chair wasn't targeted.
Chair wasn't targeted. So there's two routes that goes. They either got rid of the data on it, or something happened in the chemical shit. Hi, can I start? Is it possible to try and scan the brain to see if it was a chemical reaction or a spike reaction without?
No.
Yeah.
It is possible to ascertain this data, and you would be familiar with it, but it would be closer to lab than it would be a scan.
So, some goop we gotta just take back to the lab.
Yeah. Can you find the next of kin or any like close contacts on them?
This is a netrunner. The chances of them just having that information out in the open is unlikely. We could look around the room for any photos or anything that could let us know.
Well, we
Dalton.
can't just leave them here. They need to.
We're not leaving them here.
Okay.
Dalton turns around. I'm pretty sure they're next to. I don't know if we're gonna find a next of kin.
Why not?
If this is the person who has this apartment, there's some vibes on here that like, I don't know. I feel like this is a very
Okay, but we got to tell somebody.
solitary
Care to
lifestyle.
share with the class, Dalton?
It just seems from all these trophies that there might be I don't know how to say this specifically, but there might be like a child death in this person's life. There might be some real weird shit we're stumbling into here.
Might I
Oh.
remind us the entire reason we are here is that someone wanted to know what happened to the Null Mage.
Yeah. And
I think-
somebody needs to know who's close to them.
The
Mm.
important person for us to contact about what happened to the Null Mage is our employer.
Correct.
You can't tell me the employer was the person, okay? It has to be like a mom or a dad or a cousin or a brother or a sister or something, okay? I'm not gonna leave a fucking person here that's just lost their life.
Patty, you prioritize that all you want. We are going to focus on the job.
We can
And
do
a
both.
Krill locked it. We can. That's your task. You deal with that. Krill, with everything else then, can she get any Netrunner traction history? Maybe, no. No, I didn't think so. They're not lazy users. No.
Also, Krill doesn't have a whole lot of experience in that realm.
No, netrunning is actually very specifically something she doesn't have a lot of experience in.
Yeah, so not really.
Should we bring her body back to let Troy go through it?
We are bringing the body back.
What? Why?
There is so much more data and stuff we need to We need to do a biopsy.
Krill
doing
also
a
could use
fucking-
an upgrade.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
I mean, oh,
Patty,
okay.
give me a roll.
Okay.
Give me an advantaged roll.
Okay. -1 plus 0.
This is a connecting a person to a unit such as this is above your pay grade. This is a very talented street doc or a credentialed medical professional territory to get this job done. And even then, it still carries inherent risk. But units do get moved secondhand.
Yeah, Patty's in the mode of we need to notify the next closest person. That's like where her brain is at, because she's like, if this person's gone down, somebody's wanting to know if they're okay, and that's where her brain is at the moment.
Krill sees someone like her, a transhumanist attempting to reach new bounds, who failed in their process, and in that same mindset sees no moral issue in taking advantage of their own tenacity the way she would.
And we have the very minimum tell Troy so he can talk to his people.
What else have you forgotten?
There is this back room I'm interested in, and I would like to get the door right next to the entryway open.
And Dalton looks at the door. Oh no, another one.
You know, Krill doesn't even look. It's just two looking. Krill can't even turn around. It's just two looking. Is it an electronic lock, or is it like? Is it?
Give me a roll.
Okay. I'm so defeated by doors right now. I'm just like.
It is an electronic lock. There is a physical pathway from the door that is wired in.
Like we can literally see
Nope.
like wires could.
You
no.
can, but there's a lot of wires through the main area. And with a roll like that, I'd say that Krill doesn't necessarily maintain tracking those wires as they hit all of those other wire junctions.
Cord management is awful.
But there seems to be something somewhere that is connected to it.
Krill, looking at this mess of wires, looks at her feet. Karen, can I borrow you for a moment?
How so?
I need nimble fingers that I'm... And you kind of see the little twitch in her hand.
They're not.
That I don't have.
They're in the floor sort of situation. Krill could see them because Krill can penetrate through things.
Oh, I thought there was like a
No.
mess of cable. Pardon me then.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, Karen, can you help me get this floor panel off?
If I can.
Karen and Krill, give me a combined roll.
That's accurate for Krill.
You've been having your rolls tonight, Karina, have been rough.
all terrible, except for the few where they count.
Okay.
Can Dalton see Krill struggling and move her away and help?
Yeah, you go for it.
Just get out of the way.
Just give me a roll.
Don't worry about this, Krill. We got this. You're struggling.
Oh my god.
Hands.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
a 6.
Jesus.
From Dalton. Dalton. Essentially, what you're dealing with is just like a panel in a car and like a wiring harness, right? Like this is the sort of shit you've probably you're like, yeah, it's a house, but like, eh.
Yeah.
like in cars, there's switches, right? There's basic switches that you just like are open, close circuit sort of territory, right? And there's wires that come off in two directions and they link up to a basic circuit and that sort of thing. Dalton's got +3 to crafts, and this sort of thing doesn't lead into a microprocessor. Dalton.
Can I just do what is necessary to
hold
open
on,
the door?
Dalton.
Mm-hmm. Dalton looks at the mess of wires, steps back, looks at the table where he was looking at all the knickknacks, grabs the Null Mage statue, and just ever so slightly turns it.
Door opens.
I'm incredibly impressed, Dalton.
Oh yeah, it runs. I've seen this kind of circuit breakdown before. I've done a couple of in-house jobs on my vehicles with roughly the same setup. I mean, it's a house, I get it, but it's a junction box, they all do the same thing. You get it.
You and I should work on a project sometime soon.
Oh, absolutely.
And Brill goes into the room.
Floating in a suspension vat in refrigerant water is Adrian's biological form.
Hey, it was a proxy. Wait, that means...
Nope.
What'd I miss?
That's not Adrian.
Adrian just hung on to their body.
Oh.
Memento.
But the systems to maintain that biological form are a bit power hungry.
Yeah, a little. Krill, the little vents on Krill's neck, just being in the room, Karen, you can see the crystallization as they hit the cold space. This whole room is not just a refrigerator, it's covered in fluid intake, calorie intake, just these maintenance things to keep a corpse alive. What a waste. What a fucking waste.
Patty follows in behind and looks at the body.
Patty, you would notice the surgical scar where the craniotomy occurred.
So they kept their old body, huh?
Dalton's gonna shove into this already crowded room. What, oh my god.
Is this human hubris where you exceed your form just to hold on to the weaker one as sentiment?
Stop, okay?
Yeah, I don't know what the philosophy is, but that's a corpse, and we're really close to it.
It's... Krill scans it. Is it dead?
Give me a roll.
That's a 0 on the dice, but...
It has no higher neurological function.
That was expected.
But
Whoa.
The baser systems, such as blood flow and oxygenation of blood, seem to be ideal.
Krill takes her little spindly hand and puts it up against the tank. And then you actually hear the speakers in her head come to your volume. And you just hear... Dun dun. A long pause. A long pause. Dun dun. Long pause. Dun dun. That's not a corpse.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, at
It's
this point,
work.
it's basically a living corpse.
Yeah,
Can we catch charges for standing
hold
close
on.
to it like a real corpse?
Hold on. There's two people in this room that I have interesting ethical questions for, and I may compel Karen and Patty. I'm gonna start with Karen. Karen, how do you feel about this?
Infused.
Patty. I will give you a fate point to unplug this machine right now.
She looks back at the other body for a minute.
Yeah, Karen doesn't. I'm trying to figure out what would be the benefit of doing
She
this
goes
from my
immediately up to
perspective,
the
and I can't
machine, she
find
pulls it
any.
out.
Poof.
Yeah.
Let's get someone on this fucking body. I don't care if it's medtech at this point. This person needs to be taken care of.
Did we just make a corpse? Because
She was already dead.
Okay, we're sliding down here.
The,
Now
like,
there's something
was
that's
gone.
gonna
The
need
body was not coming
cleanup.
back.
the likelihood is that she intended to return to the original body. Hence my phrase, hubris.
It wasn't hubris, it was sentimentalism.
To me, it's hubris for the sake of thinking you can exceed your bodily standards and then just return to it as if all of that nature's work was just nothing.
Dalton goes back out in the main room.
Doesn't matter.
I literally
Bro,
keep parts of my old hand and my thumbprints on a fucking plaque.
Dalton. As you walk out into the main room, you see a flashing on one of the screens, and you see the text, "Emergency net ejection procedures activated."
Krill, somebody with tech experience, what is an emergency net ejection?
Real freaks the fuck out. Means they're someone on the other end is throwing her out, meaning this body is going to be just that, nothing in a moment.
Give me a roll for that lore.
Fuck, you're right.
Would I know about that?
Oh fuck, no, Krill does not. Never
well,
mind.
see,
I have to.
Hold on. Let's, Patty, give me a roll.
Okay. +1.
Krill says that, begins freaking out that somebody on the other end. Patty, there was a failsafe in case something went wrong with the body.
Give me a second.
Made
She's got a system set up. If the body started falling apart, she would automatically kick herself out.
I was like mid-motion.
That was her way out. She got into this body to get what she needed to get done. That body was her return back to her normal life. That's what she wanted.
I'm sorry, I'm new to all this, but did we just like slam the door on her emergency escape?
No, she's dead. Her brain was gone. Us pulling that out would bring her back out if she was still alive. She's gone.
Okay.
She can't come back.
Okay, I'm just confirming we didn't outright murder somebody.
I would not kill her.
We
in this way.
unplugged the vegetable.
Okay, just, double checking. I mean, there's ethical questions to that too, but sure.
At this point, she's already fucking gone. The best we can do is either get her to MedTech or contact the closest person that would know her. Talk to Troy right now so we can get this fucking job done and get this shit over with.
So we are going to take the body with us. Is there anything else in the building we should take?
Why do we need the body?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Really ignore that question.
The
Just
UA-NRF-BAU body.
Just fucking scan it and leave it. You just get fucking schematics on and get the fuck out.
Brill slowly turns to Patty. I have the schematics to build at least 7 different variations of this body. It's not knowing how to, it's that there are materials that are far more fucking advanced than just a microprocessing molecular reconfiguration. I just lost my tongue. Anyways, my micro construction arms, they still can't build some of this material. They can't this isn't alchemy. We can't turn lead to gold. Some shit is just going to be hard to acquire.
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're desecrating who's ever going to be in charge of this body, not us, okay? The next of kin,
I don't care.
Friend, no.
Dalton turns to
Brill
Karen.
just starts shaking her head.
There's a procedure for this.
Patty?
I don't care.
Patty? You're
Karen.
not in medtech anymore.
There's
And
a
you know
policy,
what?
there's
not-
a process you
Buddy,
work. Someone dies, the next of kin is confirmed, and then they're told,
Karen.
and then they choose
Yeah.
what to do with it.
Hey, Patty, they're picking up a body. It's behind you.
We're taking a piece of equipment, Patty.
Is
You
it-
already
is it-
unplugged the body. Tell them about the body. The body's in the closet. We're taking this piece of equipment for us.
Get the brain out. You want the body? Get the brain
need
out
the
and
brain.
store it.
Is,
Why?
Is it illegal to carry this thing outside, or is it legitimately equipment pointing at the UA body?
50-50.
It's property.
It's property? Okay. Dalton slings it over his shoulder and starts leaving.
Whoa,
Wanna roll?
Okay, well, hold
Dalton
on.
goes to grab it. Krill, grabs the head quickly, keeping it close to the chair, stop!
Patty almost puts her hand on her taser for a second.
Dalton looks at Karen.
Patty? What are you doing?
There's a procedure for this.
For who?
For this body.
For fucking who? Not you. You're not a medtech. You're a fucking civilian. You don't have to do shit.
If anything, we're closer to criminals than civilians at this point.
100%.
Yeah. So let's fucking drag a body out and make ourselves look like more criminals, like we fucking killed somebody.
Yo, you want to call someone to come pick them up? That sounds like the police. I'm not interested
talking
in
to
being
them.
involved in any of that.
If someone
I'm going-
dies, you have to follow the procedure.
Patty, how many people died in our alleyway? Did you call their next of kin?
We literally.
Krill just starts doing the proper, slowly removing the needle cording from the cortex. She
Dalton is
doing
leaning on the
proper work.
head of the body, just tapping his finger in front of Krill. Come on, come on.
Listen, I did not need you
even
spilling
fucking
gray
know their
matter
name.
everywhere.
Just get your weird tentacles all over this thing and get it over with. Let's go.
Crow, give me a roll. It's not that difficult of a connector. The version 4.2, this was fairly evolved by that point. Even with that roll, your craft is fine.
Yeah.
It's literally one primary connector that has sort of a multi-branch on it. It goes
I'm just imagining, those
brainstem territory.
oh, no, but those old video cables that had the screws on either side? I don't know why I imagined like that.
Co-
She had to undo the side screws before. You couldn't just yoink it out because they would have any safeties to stop you from doing that.
Okay, fair enough. I apologize for being hasty. I just
didn't
having-
want gray matter everywhere.
If-
You could've
I
just
didn't
made it.
expect to see a corpse today. I'm a little messed up.
If you're going to attempt to lift this body in front of Patty, but also two, just outright. This isn't like a Troy unit. It's not super heavy, but you are Dalton, and you've had a long day. So I'm going to need you to roll to even attempt to pick up this body in the first place.
All right.
And then we will handle Patty's reaction to this further in.
And Karen sees Dalton doing this and scooches closer to him just in case. She's legitimately worried about him.
Dalton, this body doesn't get picked up.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna use a fate point.
Okay?
Yes.
as I
They point to
feel-
the body.
as I feel my spine wrenching,
Okay.
Dalton digs deep and thinks very hard about being successful at this, getting this body out of here, getting everybody out of danger, out of the way of the corpse. Summons the inner strength, the will.
Which aspect invokes this?
I don't actually have a lot of aspects.
Not a lot of game mechanics, people. There's not a lot of game mechanics.
I will help you, seeing as you haven't had to do many invocations yet, and say if you wanted to spin it, your high concept of 40 never made it, still at it, you could see the potential. Karen sees the potential here. Everybody, I think, sees the potential, except maybe Patty, who's emotionally clouded at this moment. And so you could see this as an object that could further your potential or, further enhance the potential of this group, thus taking you to that next step.
Yes.
Karen,
I dig deep for it.
Karen can assist standing next to you. So as you falter, as Dalton barely manages to fireman lift this body, you've got Karen behind, sort of supporting this body as well.
Oh, and only so Dalton can hear as best as I can, Karen goes, "You got this, bud."
The feeling of acceptance.
Krill, go ahead and give me a notice roll. There's no way Patty notices in this moment. There's no way.
How do I do that? How is there...
+4. Damn.
You detected my brain waves.
Krill, you just witnessed positive affirmation from Karen to Dalton. You know, whether what you do with that's up to you, but you just noticed it. Now, we will move this scene to the next step.
You actually like us, don't you?
Got your number. Now, Patty. He's got the augmentation unit in a fireman's carry.
She steps in front of the door, blocking him.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck's sake. Fuck's sake!
Do you know their name?
What was the name of the person in the alleyway we shot?
Edric.
All of them? Who's more than one?
Yeah, I learned who I can. I can't remember them all. There's too many fucking people to remember.
You know, at least I can understand taking responsibility for people's lives you actually... And for just a random person you've come across the street, I find this very inconsiderate to the whole situation of anyone else involved right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fucking get it, do you? Okay?
Oh, my legs.
Just because I stopped being med tech doesn't mean I stopped being a fucking medic, okay? Each individual fucking dies, you know what that goes is? It's going in the fucking backpack, alright?
I'm making a willpower roll.
I'm gonna need one from Patty as well.
I got a 0 on willpower.
I don't think you have any. Yeah.
0, so I got
2. But I would, by your invocation, by saying it goes in the backpack.
Oh, she's not putting in the backpack yet for this one.
Yet?
Well, so continue then.
There is a procedure, there is a method. On the street, in the medtech, I don't give a fuck. Is somebody dies, you contact the next person.
What do you need to do that then?
Get the fucking name out of their system, find a fucking written piece of note, and
Then
we
go
fucking
and
tell
do that. Why do you need the body here to do that?
Because it's a fucking...
What does that have to do with notifying the next of kin? What does it have to do with doing what you need
so they can get rid of this person and deal with it, what they want. Like, if your family fucking
They
dies,
have a body. They have a body. There's a body we're leaving here.
Did you get the brain out?
Do you need a brain? Do you notify next of kin of all of the body parts? Is that required?
Yes.
Oh, you find every last scrap? I'm gonna call bullshit, Patty. What the
No,
fuck
with
is...
that, even Krill knows that was a blatant lie, and now my willpower check that I failed is coming into play. Patty's getting X-rayed again.
Yeah, Patty,
You just
you're
hear
falling off.
those camera lights. You're rather faint already, mind you.
Don't push me.
I think I already actually did, and I don't know if you are still standing, actually.
If you have to take another physical stress, can you do it?
No. As soon as that thing hits, she's down. She's like on the ground.
It happened. It wasn't
Oh, God. As soon as Patty is not even hit the ground, but as soon as away from the door, Dalton's already through it, just heaving it.
Krill lets Patty hit the ground, but she does just start, like, she's not lifting Patty, she's not strong, she's just dragging her to the fucking...
As soon as, like, Patty comes back to consciousness, she, like, throws Krill arm off of her, and she, like... She gets into her internal, like, her voice comms, and as soon as they start heading down the elevator, she gets the number of MedTech of, like, her old boss ready, but she doesn't hit it until they're, like, going to get out of the building.
On your way out of the elevator, once you hit the bottom floor, the doors open, and there is a young male standing there in what most would recognize as sort of like late 90s, early 2000s raver sort of club kid gear, like flared UFO pants, fucking like reflective streamers coming off of it, candy up the arm. And as you have your moment of this dude just looks at you and starts giggling and goes, "Been there," and falls into the elevator.
Dalton looks at Karen. I guess we passed the vibe check. Starts huffing it out.
And we leave because no one else is in control of Patty's actions but her.
The car is a block away.
Yeah. Patty...
As we get off the elevator, Dalton lets them know.
Patty's like, how far is the car?
Okay. I parked it in the discount parking lot.
She's gonna put it in the backpack for the moment. She's shutting the shit down so she can get the job fucking done.
Oh, can I drop this on you now?
Yeah. Karen, take the legs, I'll hold the torso.
Karen picks up 1 foot.
Karen, I am about 2 minutes from passing out and doing all this on my own. If you don't fucking help me, this is gonna break on the fucking ground, okay?
If you never pull shit like that again, I will pick up the other leg.
We're gonna talk about this later, okay? Just get it fucking done right now.
If you will not do that again, I will help you.
Krill.
Wait.
Krill,
Krill's actually going to start moving under the body. She thinks she thinks someone's going to drop it. She just starts like skirting under it, like, please don't.
So,
as you were saying though, Kai?
Well, no, given your position, don't worry about what I was about to say.
Karen,
He's watching shit about to get dropped and she doesn't want to drop.
Patty is looking at Karen at the moment. You can see, like, as soon as I think the vibe goes is, like, as soon as Patty saw that body, there's that immediate tenseness that popped over her, and in that moment, they're staring at each other. Aspen, could you give me a willpower roll? I wanna roll against you.
The only roll where the one who loses gets to act.
Zero.
You have a 3, Patty.
I'm promising nothing, but in this moment, I'll fucking get the shit out, and then we can talk about this when we get home, okay?
There you go.
Fine.
Fine. Dalton, get the fucking car.
Krill's under the waist, just to make sure, anyways.
Dalton's gonna stand up. He's gonna be like, Dalton stands up. Actually, now that I'm not carrying a giant robot, I'm actually, I can think a little bit clearer. Dalton is going to pull out his communicator and call for a car.
Okay. You're gonna invoke your stunt, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you?
I call my gabagool.
All right. Do it. It'll be right outside when you need it. What is it?
So I call my guy, and he sends in. Okay, so this is what I want. All right, a Lincoln. It's like one of those wide body old Lincolns, except for it's designed to look like an old car, but for the most part, the innards, the wheels, the inside, it is an up-to-date, fresher version of that car with a forced-on classic look, because that's just the Dalton obsession, is old cars. But having been roasted, yeah, he gets something with the proper wheels, with the proper insides, with the proper systems. It can be hacked, it can be messed with by both Troy and Krill, so, you know, that's a danger, but I let everybody roll in style with something a little more updated. It's also 4-door.
Dalton hops on his comms for a second. You hear just a couple of quick, like, you know, yep, nope, yep, yep, and he hangs up. And you proceed outside. You start following Dalton. And Dalton just walks up to a large boat of a car that for sure isn't going to fit down the alleyway. And proceeds to, what? Open the trunk, open the doors, get in. What do you do, Dalton? Narrate it. It's your scene.
So as we walk out to this, it's almost pearlescent, but it's main black with like an auburn brown to the lighting of it, with chrome for all the sidings and all the, like, not the sidings, but the trim. Walks up, pulls out like a button, clicks it, back opens up. You guys can put the machine in there. There's plenty of room, unlike the last one, so nobody's got to squish into anybody. You guys can hop in. He presses another button, and specifically the 2 doors on the side open up for Karen, Krill, and Patty. Not the other side, because I'm not getting doored. Step in.
Thank you.
Patty puts in the body. She's not saying a fucking word.
Krill, after Patty puts the body a bit nicer, making sure everything's all gently closes the lid.
All right. Well, then you get in the vehicle. I want rolls from the 4 of you.
I do want to narrate the powering up.
Mm-hmm.
What's one?
-1.
+2.
Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
There's a slightly older than middle-aged woman of seemingly Asian descent who is beginning to run towards the car.
Panicking, Dalton, well, not panicking, but like confused, Dalton kind of like steps towards the angle that she's coming at to the car to get between them.
She's coming from the sort of central courtyard. She has come out of a building at full clip and is now running through the central courtyard looking at you.
Does anyone else see that?
I stick my head out. Who are you?
Get back here! Thieves!
Go.
Oh, that's what it is. Everybody get in the car. Dalton jumps in. It's got the front seat is there's no middle console, so just right in. Over Karen's lap if he has to.
Give me a roll. And narrate you getting out of here.
Karen's like, ew.
0.
Narrate.
Okay. So Dalton jumps in the car, has Karen shut the door behind her, hits the engine. Unlike the last car and like the other cars he's had, this one has this like almost like low bubble sound of like just boiling water, and then that turns into like a rolling engine sound, all imitating an actual like engine. It's much more digital to the people who know the sound, but it imitates it very well. It starts off, it gives off like a big like, and then smooth as even with Dalton's like crazy spin-offs, just the smoothest takeoff and into traffic. And then we're on the road. Heading back to base.
Before we go, could like Patty just get like a quick eye view at that person and take a picture of them?
Give me a roll.
Okay. +0.
No.
And Krill.
Give me. Or you didn't even. Well, give me a roll. Now that you would have been forced to take notice of it. Yes. As you hit the main highway, a NSFPD car comes up directly behind your car and puts its reds and blues on, and the siren goes off. We pick back up where we left off. A NSF PD cruiser has pulled up behind the Lincoln-ish town car, flipped on the blues and twos, and has given you the whoop whoop.
Dalton is going to start pulling over the car, turns around. Unfortunately, this is a highly advanced vehicle, so if we try to run, they're just going to tag everything. So we gotta figure out a way out of this, looking at Karen somehow.
Well, in the meantime, I can talk to him. But Krill, do you think you could maybe have Troy help us out with something?
We are not hacking the police. This is without a doubt not going to happen. But I think I have a solution. Krill immediately... So Krill pings Troy. Outside of the car, the time suddenly slows down. Computers are talking. As the data just shoots there instantly. Troy, if you're still in contact with those netrunners, now it's time to call in a favor. We may very likely have information that they want to know, and we need their help. South of us is a better part of town. Southwest of us is an even better part of town. We need a fake disaster. Could you ask them to spoof and flood the call lines? Anything to get their attention. Better if something that cameras can't easily check, like a hostage situation. Boots, you're not coming through.
I'm not talking, I'm typing. I'm making sure I'm getting this written down.
Oh, sorry, you were...
Due diligence, Caboose. Don't apologize.
No, you're good, you're good. Sorry, just I was confused.
At a speed that's actually slightly faster than what Krill is capable of, Troy does reply, although Krill still...
Oh yeah, no, it's just like... It's just... Oh, fuck. Back already.
Chatbot.
I already have a favor running with one of them, but I can attempt to contact them again to see if there are any more favors I could potentially offer them. And Troy just disconnects. Troy doesn't say goodbye, he just disconnects the call, and he jumps into the net immediately.
What you doing? Where you going?
He's gonna search up Club 2600.
Okay. You know what? Describe Troy getting to Club 2600.
Well, he first gets his little pad up, starts going through all the data, going to searches, gets the location, and he starts making his way. And he's hustling a little bit, even though time runs a lot slower here. It's milliseconds. He has a sense of urgency. His friends are in trouble, so he's following wherever the path to Club 2600 is taking him. Finds the little patch of null space, pushes the whole "this is not a thing, there's nothing here" passive his mind, and walks in.
For the astute viewership, if you were watching this in a visual form, you noticed that the path that Caboose took to 2600 was not the same path that Caboose took the last time to 2600. As you punch through the barrier into the club, there's going on. There's a few people there. Grim is at the bar. Rez is upstairs talking to passerby. There's a person hassling the DJ construct.
Since Grim was the one that was kind of nice to him the last time, he's just gonna walk up to Grim first. And he'll just say, "Excuse me, Grim, are you available?"
I'm always available for a fee.
I may have another favor to ask of you or the others.
Favors don't come cheap, my boy. Favors don't come cheap. What can I do for you, Trobot?
He's going to take the conversation that he had with Rez earlier today, and he's going to start making some assumptions. And he's going to say, "You are probably already aware of Patty and Karen."
I'm aware of your friends, yes.
If the information that Rez has told me about them has been delivered to you, then you are probably aware that they are, as Rez has suggested, clumsy.
Troy wouldn't notice, but the all-seeing eye would. At the mention that the information may have come from Rez, Grim squints a little in disapproval. His information is his own.
He scanned you first, buddy.
That's true.
He's the first one, too.
I don't need Rez.
A little something connects in Troy. A little pattern connects, and he realizes he didn't need Rez. So Troy's learning. Troy's getting there. And he says, "My apologies, but my friends have been accosted by the police and are requesting potential services to reroute the police to elsewhere."
At the mention of the police, a grin begins to spread across Grim's face. "We got a pigsty situation." Rez literally leans over the railing. "What you got?" "I don't know. Apparently Troybot's idiot friends got themselves in trouble." Rez just looks back at him and goes, "Oh, it had to be those two. It had to be those two." Passerby, hearing this, goes, "What two?" And Rez just glances at him and goes, "Don't worry about it. Grim and I got this." Passerby's like, "All right." And he sits back down at the table and continues going about the affairs of what a next level Netrunner does. His business is his own. Rez slides down the staircase banister and just saddles up on the to the bar stool next to Grim and says, "What are we getting into?" Grim just motions to Troy, goes, "Go ahead, Troybot. Tell what you told me."
My friends are currently being accosted and pulled over south of the Gamer Life apartment blocks. We believe a simple reroute will be necessary to bring the attention off of them and allow them to return home without being followed or detected. I would attempt to do this myself, but after previous conversations about obfuscation, I felt it was best left this task was best left to the experienced.
Rez looks at Grim and goes, "You doing this one for free?" Grim just looks back at her and goes, "Oh no, I'm gonna get something out of this. Don't know what yet." Rez looks back at him, looks at Troybot, and just says, "Me? Doesn't bother me. I just like fucking with the fuzz." So, in that moment, the two of them just very quickly on the bar top, 2 shots of C/ appear before them. They both just sort of grin. There's camaraderie between these two. There's something, there's a reason people come to this club. There's a reason people are allowed in this club. There's a reason that people gather around passerby. These are people who are artists. They're craftspeople. They're artisans of a digital nature. And they just pick up their shots, look at each other, clink the glasses together, down them, and you see those fucking irises, those deep purple irises in Rez's eyes just flare up. The blues and the yellowish hues and Grim's just flare up. And you just see this fucking wall of holographic data just poof, up around the two of them. And you hear from inside Rez go, "Like the Inspiron job? Nah, I was thinking more like Brook Creek, but yeah, we could do Inspiron. Fuck it, let's mix and match." And just data flying everywhere. And just, you hear Rez, "Oh, look at this. They've got a cute little hunter-killer program going down at NSFPD headquarters now. This is hilarious." Anyway, get in there, and you just, digital pieces and bits. And Grim goes, "Whoa, Jesus Christ, you nearly missed me. You nearly hit me with that one." Rez goes, "You really are old as fuck. Who even says Jesus anymore? We got aliens, man." Amidst all of this, camera cuts. You see an NSFPD substation. You see the screens just light up and alerts start coming in. We've got a DNA biobank robbery happening down on 3rd Street. We've got a hostage situation happening. We've got a bank. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 high-level calls just start pouring in, one after the other after the other. And you cut to you lot as one foot steps out, and you see that shot of just the boot hit the tarmac as the door swings open. And then you hear, "Holy shit, no, we're being rerouted." Foot very quickly comes back up, the door slams, and you hear tires squeal behind you as the rubber impregnated steel mesh tires just shred that road surface. And off in a U-turn, cutting off traffic. People fucking horns blaring, even though it is a cop. They've almost just caused multiple accidents. Cut to 2600, and this circle of data just goes and just spins out of existence onto the floor. Rez goes, well, a little bit of digital vandalism never hurt anyone. Grim, on the other hand, looks at Troy.
Troy is watching this intensely. Like, his eyes are just darting around, watching both of them just work. He's impressed. He's amazed. That little fucking dog? You can do something about that dog? Wait, hold on, what?
He,
Troy just looks at the both of them. He's wide-eyed. He's almost childlike, which is even unusual for him. And he's just like, how can I learn to do this?
Somebody could teach you. I look forward to our sit down, Troy.
I anticipated greatly.
The two of them, the eyes sort of subside. Rez sort of, you can see she's energized. She's coming off of a bit of a high, and she's sort of amped up, and she just goes, "Whoo! I need to go get laid." And just the avatar is gone. Grim, on the other hand, circles back on his stool and just disappears back into his workload. A heads-up display of a digital holographic form pops up in front of him, and you can just see he's just working files and folders and editing some code.
So,
Right.
Was it a success? Were you able to reroute the comps?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think we couldn't fuck with some simple piggies? Your friends should be fine, Troy. Your friends should be fine.
I have now registered 2 favors I owe you. If I am able to pay off the debt for this task, I will happily oblige. Is there something you need?
No.
Is
there something you need, Troy?
Troy's thinking for a moment, other than just all the million fucking questions he wants to ask. He says, at the moment, no. However, I may return someday, or may return at some point to ask more questions.
Noted. And again, he turns back to his work.
I look forward to our next meeting. And Troy logs off, and he's gonna go double check on Jacob, make sure Jacob's still okay.
Jacob, having been hosed down in the courtyard, not having a spare set of clothes on you either. I would love to hear some of Jacob's thoughts on how this scene ended up playing out.
So, Roy fucking blasted him. Just very efficient. Just get everything off, and then now at this point, he's just freezing his ass off inside because they've by now returned inside the base, and he's just fucking very slowly just cleaning up the mess that he had left behind for himself, and is just thinking to himself, just quiet.
I want to add one thing real quick, Jacob.
Uh-huh.
During the time when he's hosing you off, he did offer you a couple things like the option to be talked soothly to or to be degraded.
Yes. And he just opted for silence.
Which Troy obliged.
Yes. And at this point, he's just fucking cleaning up, just still dripping inside the base. He just doesn't care. He just wants to just be rid of this day at this point. And is just toiling away. Is Troy in the same room?
Yes, Troy's in the same room. I think, in fact, I think the little net run he did took place in the same room.
Okay. Well, Jacob just kind of glances over and it's like, "Oh, you're back. What was that?"
The rest of the members of our group had been accosted by the cops. I solicited some assistance from my friends that I met through net running to reroute the cops.
Wait, they could do that?
Apparently.
At this point, Jacob's just like, well, he just kind of glances a little confused at Troy. It's just like, is that something they did for free?
That is not entirely clear. One member appears to be interested in potential favors. The other ones seem to be ecstatic to just do so. It is unclear if they will request a return favor.
Do you have any information on these guys outside of just one-off interactions?
I am aware of their usernames.
Well, what's up with the group?
The group appears to be a select group of expert netrunners. They have, however, made some of their information difficult to ascertain.
Well, sounds about right for those types of people. Oh.
It would appear that though they are intrigued by me, they are also cautious. They have been very selective about which information they will reveal to me.
Well, we should... okay. At this point, he just kind of takes a second to gather his thoughts. And he just looks at Troy and it's just like, well, what about our group?
Please specify.
Like, how are they doing? Do they...
Troy's thinking, what the hell how are they doing? He's seen a lot. Haven't really have a whole lot of successes. Kind of messed up a lot. And he's now aware that other people think, at the very least, Patty and Karen are clumsy. So he just looks back down to Dalton and asks, "Can you please clarify the parameters?"
Are they safe, at least? You know.
The cops have been rerouted.
Okay, well, are they heading back here, or what's any word on them, or?
Just a moment. And Troy just kind of stares blankly for a bit and recontacts Krill and asks, "Are you returning home?"
Yes, yeah. No, Patty, we don't need to talk about this right now. Yes,
Patty's not talking. She's quiet.
No, okay, I was just going like, there's an argument in the car or something.
Nope. No argument right now. Patty is stone cold silent.
No, never mind. We're fine. Car is quiet and high tension. We will be home soon.
Thank you. And just for like that little tiny split second, since this was a call with Krill, this took barely any time. So you just sort of see Troy look in the distance for like a second and then look back at you and says, "They are returning home."
Okay. He just kind of looks down at like just the mopping. It's just like I don't suppose you'd want to help me with this too.
Troy doesn't say anything, but he does go out and finds like a mop or something in the garage and starts helping to clean up.
What's the status of Jacob's clothing?
Just fucking soaking wet. Just completely and utterly soaking wet.
They soiled?
I mean, I'd assume so, slightly. I'd imagine just water ain't enough.
Water and a little bit of scrubbing, and you would, but that's
Well,
up
he
to
just
you
got-
if you
he
want to take them off and try and do that. But just so you know, as an expert on poop, you can get it out.
Wait, is he wearing them right now, or is he?
He's just kind of like
It's
boxing
being
it out.
nude.
Yeah, I was about to say, is he
Okay.
pantsless inside the base right
Yeah.
now?
Just boxers and shit.
Okay, so he's
long and
boxers.
short. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Troy just looks down at Jacob's pants and states, "I would suggest a light bleaching."
You have any bleach on you?
Troy looks around.
Give me a roll, Caboose.
All right. That's 0, but this is noticed, right?
Nope.
Okay.
This is a resources roll.
No.
And I don't have anything on resources, so this is just a straight 0.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna guess that's a no.
No.
Okay.
Jacob had a fucking night. Is pretty much. It's just they're gonna walk back to.
Even if we do have it, Troy clearly does not know where to look for it.
Yeah.
Dalton, give me a roll.
Oh, are we back? Or
Oh,
no,
I
he's
guess-
driving. What am I
I
saying?
guess the roll's gonna fucking decide.
+1.
The rest of your drive is rather uneventful. Back to the city center, back to where the main terminal is, down
Eyes burnt out by advertising.
down 3 levels. By this point, I'd imagine you're probably actually kind of curious to see the slave to ratings in space. They flashed that in front of your eyes enough times at this point.
I am down to figure what that is.
And so you weave this behemoth. It doesn't get very far underground.
To a point, yes.
Yeah, like this isn't even like down the alleyway parked around the corner like you could do with the Subaru or the little minivan originally. Like this is a fucking boat of a car.
You have to park it where we parked the limo.
Yes.
Oh, we'll get to that.
So I'll let you handle the rest of the driving.
Okay. So Dalton, driving into the tight exterior areas of as close to our HQ as Dalton can go, suddenly pulls like a pretty sudden stop. All right, guys, this is as close as I can get this boat. And to be honest, I'm not going in there tonight. I'm going home. I'm going to bed. I've been working out all morning. Never got to sleep. Got dropped on my head several times. Had to carry a body out. My legs are about to die. I'm going home for the night. I'm sleeping this all off. We're like 2-3 blocks from the club. Just grab your goddamn body and get out.
Patty doesn't say anything, but a message pops on Dalton's communicator, and it basically gives a rundown of helping to deal with overexertion and helping to like relax the muscles to be able to properly recover. And it's just like it's a very like medical, nothing like super personal in that moment.
It's called a recovery protocol.
Yeah.
Dalton looks at it. Oh, thank you. Look at that. Rest. Number 1.
Patty doesn't even like talk. She just like gets towards the back of the car and starts picking up the body.
Pops the trunk for Patty as she gets around.
Troy actually receives another message from Krill. Very quickly and briefly. Troy, I would really appreciate your assistance right now so others can keep going on with their day a lot sooner.
Where was your location?
We are where the limo was parked.
Noted. Troy just looks down at Jacob and states, "They are here and they require my assistance. I will return momentarily."
Alright,
And-
let me fucking just get dressed then. Fucking, and then he just kind of like waves off to fucking Troy as he just starts to fucking just slowly putting everything back on.
Dalton leans out of the car to Patty. I know Jacob was messed up. There might be a suit in the back for him if you want. You don't have to take it. I don't care. Turns back to Krill. Get out.
He picks up the suit and puts it in the back of her backpack.
Karen also gets up.
Thank you.
How do you leave, Dalton?
As soon as everybody's clear, and I make sure to check my blind spot, make sure the body's out. I don't want to drop anything on the ground. But as soon as I hear that bump, just again can't do it properly in an EV vehicle, but as much of a peel out as Dalton can, and squeezing out through the fastest route, heading back towards his place. Anybody who needs a lift to go home, get fucked.
Give me a roll.
Zero.
Your drive back to your apartment is uneventful. What does Dalton think to himself? Got a bit of a drive back. You got a few minutes. You got 12, 15 minutes to yourself. What's that look like for Dalton?
After such a intense, long day, Dalton feels more kind of edgy, aggravated, almost gritting his teeth, like burned by the day, but in no way thinks that it's like an issue with anybody in his life or anything. Just, holy shit, this is going to be a lot of work to do this as a team, to be able to do any of these jobs. I mean, for the most part, this is the most successful job we've pulled off, and it still looks like shit, objectively. To some degree, I don't even know if we passed this job. I'm going to find out tomorrow if it's cleared or not. Karen's still got to do a bunch of paperwork and connection work. We might have screwed up and grabbed the wrong body. Who knows? I'm just so goddamn tired. I just want to go to bed, relax at home, feel the warmth of my stuff for 2 seconds after so many excruciating days. Not looking forward to the next time Patty shows up at my apartment at 4 a.m. But feels a great sense of purpose, and feels like there's going to be a lot of opportunities in this assembling squad to achieve some kind of successful life out of everything he's done so far. He might actually be able to make some money, buy some nice stuff, do something fun, as opposed to just skimming it on the bottom forever.
All right. Dalton fades off into the sunset, as it were. It is late afternoon, early evening for you guys. All of this has taken a few hours in totality. You are basically approaching sunset. The rest of the group, feel free to narrate your way back to base and your interactions therein.
Well,
He's just dead silent.
they do see Troy just coming out from the alley and approaching.
Troy, sorry, stressful day. I've used a lot of power. 2 times. I did 2 things I shouldn't have. Just cut it quarter out of my battery. Don't know why I did it. I'm an idiot. Could you help us move this body?
Troy nods and then walks over, looks at the body, and this is pretty much what he saw on the net, right?
It is.
So Troy halts. You see Troy visibly halt. And his eyes go kind of wide, and they're just scanning over the whole entire thing. Troy looks surprised, and there's just the ever so subtle hint of shock on his face. As he just states, this is Null Mage.
Correct. One of their bodies.
One of theirs.
One of 2.
The Null Mage has multiple bodies.
I'll explain inside. And
Troy before Troy goes to help pick up the body, you do see him just kind of stop a moment and think before silently going to the body to pick it up and carrying it in a neither bridle carry, kind of like how he did for Dalton. I'm assuming I don't have to do any rolls for that. All right.
As soon as like she hands off the body, she leans in. Be careful with it, please. Don't hurt it. And then she immediately starts heading towards the lab, like leaving everybody else behind.
Although he doesn't really say anything, Troy does sort of kind of think to himself that that's unnecessary. This is special to Troy in a weird way. Troy just met people through net running. He didn't even know humans could do that. He just learned that there's gonna be... He now just has met someone who he knows was previously capable of net running. This is like almost like getting to meet a friend you met online, except for they're already dead. And Troy's not sure how he feels about that. This is something that he got kind of close to personally, in more ways than one. So there's a lot going through his head as he's just walking back down the alley. I guess if as he walks in, he just says, "Where would you like me to place the body?"
we require it on the lab table.
Any humans, or any entities with olfactory senses intact. This whole building smells like shit.
Oh god, Krill can still smell. Krill actually has hypersensitive smelling. Those big tubes are her noses.
You're welcome, baby.
Patty has smelled so much shit in her lifetime she doesn't even react.
I don't have a gag reflex. What is this feeling?
Karen pulls out one of her favorite fragrant chapsticks and applies it to the bottom of her nose.
Jacob,
Deactivating atmospheric sensors. Oh my god.
I see Jacob has made themselves home.
The pollution warnings in this room.
My apologies. I should have warned you that there is a higher than usual level of sulfuric and fecal compounds in the air.
Jacob.
I'm sorry. Okay, can I make that resource check? Because Krill's now gonna go into the lab and check, like, under the cabinets for, yeah.
Just at this
God damn
point,
it, I even have a plus in resource. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. Why can't I roll?
look, the game is telling us that the lab has to smell like shit right now.
I hate you.
And at this point, Jacob's just like noticing the reactions. Just gives just everyone just a little finger just as they walk by him.
Patty was like passing the middle finger. She's not reacting at all. She is getting like a repair tool to be able to start working on her hand.
You mean Patty ain't checking out that ass?
That's not
Yeah,
even-
'cause
Krill in the lab. She goes under the sink. She finds a bottle of bleach and shaking it. Empty. She's completely empty. What was Swain cleaning all the time. You know what? She just turns the room and turns a black light on. Never mind.
Troy just, as you guys are all freaking out about the smell and stuff, he can technically detect it, but he doesn't really have the whole emotional connection to smell that people have. So he just calmly walks over to the lab, and he quite gently puts the body on the table. And he steps away, but he's staring at it. He is staring hard at it. He is taking in everything he can. He's matching it up to. He's using his pattern recognition algorithms, and they're matching him up to the figure that he saw on the net and stuff, and he's not sure what to make of this. This is new. This is real. This is weird and new.
Are you okay, Troy?
There's a delay in Troy's response as he's still processing something, but he does eventually speak up. Granted, this delay is like a fraction of a second, something probably only Krill would really notice. And he states, previously when I was net running and using the net to locate the whereabouts of Null Mage, there was a high detailed recreation of the Null Mage's apartment and this figure on the net. This figure is a near identical match.
This figure is Null Mage's proxy body. They used this body to increase their capability as a netrunner, but had no intention of maintaining it as their purest form. Their flesh and blood body was actually in wait in the next room over for them to return to.
Was that what you meant by other body?
Correct. This is a tool more than anything else. But sadly, this was the tool they passed away in.
Troy reaches out a hand, and he just brushes his hand down the arm of the body. And then steps away and lets you and Patty work. If Patty's even going to do anything.
Oh, Patty's completely on her own right now. She is isolated herself from the rest of the group. You can see she's starting to pull her hand apart and test the nerves, test the system, see where the issues lie in it so she can start to repair it if she can.
Give me a roll.
All right. +2. Can I use a fate point?
You don't even. Oh wait.
No. Wait. You want to use a fate point to make her fail it. Not like super bad, but enough to where it's actually going to delay her.
If you want to fudge a roll, you can fudge a roll.
Okay,
I'm not gonna ever let you fudge up, but I'll let you fudge down if you want to.
Okay.
Can we ever wager a fudge down for a fate point?
No.
Damn.
So in that moment, as she's working, there's like a brief spark as she like says "fuck."
At this point, Jacob's just kind of like, he's not trying to deal with fucking Karen shit right now, and he doesn't even want to know what's going on between Krill and Troy, so he just starts slowly making his way over to Patty after hearing the exclamation and just looks over. It's just like, how the fuck? Well, you look like you've had a fucking day. Look like shit.
I can't do anything fucking right. I don't know what the fuck happened, but like when I put my thumb, like you can see right here is like the most amount of the damage, but the problem that comes is that shock kind of went through the entire fucking hand. So like the defibrillation is as soon as I try to activate that process, it short circuits like a little bit, like it turns on and then it immediately overheats, and I don't know what the fuck's going on with it.
I'm sorry, there was a shock?
Yeah, we were trying to open a door to the... and I turned on my hands, and then I try to go through the electricity, but I fucked myself up.
Sorry. Okay. Did you just try to shock a door? He says with like a little bit of chuckle as he just like starts looking a little bit closer at the hand. The fuck?
The thing I can't do this right now. There's a fucking. Have you looked at what they brought in?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm like barely awake right now. What the fuck's going on?
Well, we found Null Mage.
Wait, so that. Oh.
Yeah. Don't know their fucking name. Don't know who belongs to them. Don't know who they belong to. All we fucking know is these random ass fucking net runners just are the only ones we are connected, and some fucking bounty is just wanting to get their ass. But
part of the life, baby. Fucking.
yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
They burnt themselves out.
I never understood net runners who do that shit.
It's not the first time.
I don't understand net runners, to be frank with you.
Well, the problem that comes with most net runners is they're either going to get spiked or some shit gets in their head and it gets like all jumbled around and scrambles their brain. It's like, it's not the first time I've seen it.
Then what's got you so cut up this time?
They didn't fucking follow protocol.
Protocol?
Yeah, when someone dies, right, you contact the next person. Whoever is like say you die, right?
Uh-huh.
I either call your mom, I either call your dad, I call your cousin, somebody, anybody who can make sure your body's taken care of, make sure all your things are taken care of, make sure you as an entire thing is taken care of.
Seems like a waste of time to me.
So what, just dump your body in the middle of the fucking alley?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still some there. You'd just be adding to the pile.
She almost cracks a smile in that moment, but she's like, no. Okay? The fact that each one of these motherfuckers that die in this goddamn city doesn't get proper treatment, I don't know. No. People are gonna die, fucking oh well. But if you can't get properly taken care of, no.
Well, I mean, who's to say this person even had anybody waiting on them? I mean,
somebody, there had to be somebody, okay? You could be the most isolated, alone person, but somebody's going to come for you.
mm-mm.
At the very fucking least, have like your fucking neighbor or from across your apartment just like say who they were, take control of possessions or something. Like, I'm sorry, like.
So while this conversation has been going on, Karen was at the top of the medical table, keeping an eye on what Krill and Troy were up to, but very much listening to what Jacob and Patty were talking about. And at this point, Karen turns around and says,
They're not in the same room.
Yeah, we're far off. She's
unless you left the door
like in her own
open.
corner right now.
Unless you left the door open between the lab and the hangar.
"Oh,
Yeah, they're not close.
I didn't hear them
specifically
leave the
said
room.
that she
I'm sorry."
isolated
Well,
herself from the
so
rest of
I
them.
assumed because we came from the alley that we actually came into the hangar first,
That's what I
and
was-
then went to the lab. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I assumed
Okay.
too.
Never mind.
Yeah.
fair enough. Hey,
I mean,
it's
we
just-
want to do a coin flip.
I
for the
was
door being left
confused
open.
about where people were. Never mind.
I get you.
I would.
Are you in the room? Where do you actually want to be, though? I want to know that for my own sake.
in terms of-
I'm where I'm at is next to the medical table where you guys are working on the body.
Okay, cool. That's for my own sake later when it gets back to us then.
Pretty much, Patty's kind of set up in the main garage area off to the side, just like at a table set up. She's just.
Do we have a table out there?
There's shit. There's
There's
shit.
like shit to sit on.
Yeah, there's probably boxes to sit on. Absolutely. That's what I was like.
Calling
Table?
It's
There's-
we've got a bunch of junk. We can set
There's
up
junk.
a table or whatever.
There's junk.
That's
Yeah.
a table. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a really shitty like 80s beach chair that has like those pure metal 80s beach chair that somehow survived all of this bullshit just in there.
My family used the box for a table for years.
I did too.
Karen, what are you doing?
I've been thinking about what Patty just did and why. And what I am going to discuss with her about this. But in the moment, I am focusing on what is happening with the body, with the intent of giving respect to the remaining bits of the null mage. I don't want us to just take this brain and throw it out into the trash.
Oh,
It seems to be important for Patty.
nope. And to be fair, Krill wouldn't do that either in this moment. Do you make these concerns aloud, or are this just in your head?
Yes, as soon as you get anywhere near the head, that is when Karen will bring it up.
Krill needs to open the head so we can get you that last bit of information, though, so we know what happened. So, I'll try my best to be respectful, Karen.
Thank you.
To be honest, even I'd want my... And she taps her glass. And as she does, you actually see her LEDs, like, flicker when she does. Ting, ting. I'd want it respected, too. I get that, at the very least. And you see the mechanical arms come in, and they just make small incisions along panel lines, undoing the metal bonds that once were there. Screws get spun out in places.
There's actually like, I mean, it is a unit that is designed to not be permanently affixed, but but to be held sort of semi-permanently, right? Like, this is just in case this unit, we can't go cutting through the exoskeleton sort of situation. This is a modular unit. We recognize that there may be a secondary market for this unit, you know, this sort of thing.
This was actually planned. It wasn't.
Yes, this
tap
is
on. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Krill starts an entirely different sequence. The mechanical arms do not have the manufacturer tips out. You actually see panels above them flip and their heads spin to little drill and socket heads as they come down, and there's micro screws under panels. Krill comes in and twists some heavy locks as you hear what sounds like a liquid seal. And lifting the head up, there's a brain in a circular round cavity. Like in a circular round glass. Wires and wires connected to almost every neuron on it. And she very, very gently lifts it out with her manipulators and as best as she can, hands it off to like an actual machined manipulator to hold it steady. And sitting the brain above, she just opens the top cap and starts taking a liquid sample first. She wants to see when rigor mortis started to get that time. So she has a sample for that separated. Closing the cap, she fully lifts it out. And as she starts lifting the cap, the brain is lifting out with it.
Well,
And
Troy's watching you do this. He doesn't stop you or anything, but he does just state, "Are you sure you should be doing this?"
This is the only way we get the info. And running down the very base of the main hippocampus, there's a single sliver. She makes 2 cuts and carefully takes out a slice, lays it on another petri dish, and lowers the brain back into the container. Scanning this top cavity, she makes sure that all of the schematics of how to make this top headpiece is exactly the same. And then, with as much respect as she can, she just says whatever scrap that is keeping this brain here, it goes with it. And that is okay. Karen, this is, I assume, what you need. And she hands you the brain in the ball jar.
Thank you.
She slaps some lids on those petri dishes, takes them over to the fridge, immediately gets them in there and safe for analysis. And then, actually, instead of going straight to that, Krill actually starts making a shopping list, and we're just gonna fade away. The camera fades away from her as she starts making that quick shopping list, which the camera sees bleach first on it, 3 bottles.
For your own knowledge, since you're already aware of the UA website and product listing pages, that's listed as a brain wiring harness. They can just be purchased as a unit.
So, Krill wouldn't even have to manufacture a new one. She could literally just, hey, can I get a new brain jar? Thanks.
Yeah, there's like I said, there's a secondary market for these units.
Perfect.
So,
yeah, she might be adding that to the list.
Karen. Is there anything app-wise you would like to do?
Yes.
I figured we might
Karen,
have some cleanup to do.
Yes. Karen goes and carefully set up. God, is there a nice place on the desk anywhere? Not really, is there? How am I gonna put this brain?
There is a Troybot just kind of standing there.
Hey Troy, can you hold this for me? Be
Troy.
very gentle with it, please.
Troy is actually surprisingly gentle with this. He seems to be going to a lot of extra length to be gentle with this brain.
Thank you, dear. Karen pulls out her comms device and pulls up the Freebooter app. I'm guessing there is a information input.
Correct. The client requested 2 things: status and location.
Mm-hmm. Status is deceased, and their location is 420. Look at the name.
Building 2?
Gamer Life Apartments.
Well done, Aspen.
Block B.
You
Block.
Do you submit this information?
Is it? Is it just 420 or is it Block B?
It's Block B, Building 2?
Building 2 is Block B.
Cool.
Don't get too much terminology mixed up. Just say Building 2, number 420.
17th floor.
You don't need that. You don't need that information. That will just confuse it. 420 is enough. The building is literally like in a pattern of how it's set up. Just leave it be.
Body is located at 420 Gamer Life Apartments. Deceased appears to be from natural causes. Well, okay, no. No, scratch the natural causes. No apparent sign of how they died. And that was what I'll submit.
1 minute goes by. 3 minutes go by. 7 minutes go by. 12 minutes go by. Karen, you can read it.
Job completion details. Successful job completion. Wow, I'm really good at starting at the beginning. System message, successful job completion. Job completion details, rating 7 out of 10. Client comment, job completed. Facilities manager was alerted and a police dispatch was released. Sloppy, but got the job done. Soft bonus denied. Payment, 5,000 credits. The bonus was 1,000, but we did not earn that. And we got a welcome message. Congrats on completing your introductory mission. You are now officially freebooters. Welcome to the world of legally questionable commercial transactions. From this point forward, you will be able to choose from a selection of jobs and tasks that are available to profiles of your rating and experience level. Keep grinding these gigs and earn high ratings, and you'll get access to better and better jobs. Also, starting now, your profile will go live, allowing for potential clients to send gigs exclusively to you. From now on, the welcome screen will present you with a selection of 3 gig options to potentially choose from. If you are dissatisfied with the selection that has been presented to you by the algorithm, you may, for a service fee of 1,000 credits, refresh the list and get new options. Gigs will also come with hard and soft limits, sometimes related to time or other restrictions placed on the gig by the client. Hard limits must be met for the job to be completed successfully, whereas soft limits will earn you the stated bonus. Fair winds and following seas freebooters.
Out of game. We did it!
We are freebooters, and we have 3 options now for jobs to choose from.
Only took us 9 episodes to get a win, peeps.
A single one.
So,
What?
you can choose to go through those verbally now if you want, or we can wait till next session and you can share that with the group when they're collected back together.
I think that's more next session feel.
Yeah, I agree.
We then fade out on a stinky fucking apartment place. Stinky fucking facility, right? Patty staring at her hand that's going to sting in more than one way for probably the foreseeable future. Troy staring wide-eyed and childlike at the remnants of what could have been a friend. Krill probably looking at a body with near infinite potential that has a little bit of a sting to it, a little bit of a bittersweet present on this morning. And we see Dalton walking into his apartment as the door latch catches and he locks it behind himself, sighing a great sigh of a rest well earned and a day that was quite long. We hear, "Hey there,